Hey, what's poppin', everybody? It's your boy Armon, and we are back with another video, and I'm looking crazy. Okay, oh my god. Because you know why? I'm using this screen. And we are back with another... Ooh, that was crazy too. I feel like I'm sounding and looking crazy. Sorry. But what's poppin', everybody? It's your boy Armon, and we're back with another video. I'm trying to get this lighting together because y'all know I'm using the StreamYard right now. And so sometimes StreamYard be having me look a fool. But I'm using the StreamYard for good reason. We are going to bring some people into the chat today and have a conversation. Oh, shit. I didn't see. I'll be doing too much. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. It's just going to be what it's going to be, okay? But what's popping, everybody? How's everybody doing out there? Get in here, everybody. Get in here, okay? Get in here. We're going to have a good show. This is like an impromptu kind of live. However, I thought it would be a good live to do today because a lot of people, when I was on my StationHead this morning, were really interested in the topic. So today's topic is, should a man tell his woman or girlfriend or whichever have you if he had been sleeping or messed around with another man before in the past? It's not that he's into men now. He may have been into men before. However, you know, he's into you now. He wants to be in a relationship with you. Should he have to tell a woman that he's been with a man? And so many people had a lot of opinions on that. So I decided to get on StreamYard and open up the forum. So I want to bring people up. Oh, they said the echo is bad. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. What did I do? Hold on. Give me a second. Is it still echoing? Is it still echoing? Oh, hold on. Let me see. Another video. Oh, they said it. Oh, hold on. Is it still echoing? Let me see. Another video. Oh, they said it. Oh, hold on. Is it still echoing? Let me see. What happened? Is it still echoing? Oh, shit. Hold on. What happened? Is it still echoing? Hold on. Technical difficulties. Audio. Oh. No. This needs to be off. Each.
Okay. Hello? That should be much better. Okay. That should be better. Is that better? Okay. Yes. Is that better? Yes. Listen. This is why you can't panic, but you just gotta be ready. You gotta move on your feet, cause some shit might shut down, some shit might stop working, but we gotta get through the show. Okay. So again, get in here, everybody, get in here. We're gonna start the show in a second. I just want to make sure that we're sounding good. We're using the StreamYard. Don't mind my lips either, because y'all was talking about me, talking about my lips is ashy. Let me tell you guys something. I'm in a cast, damn it. For one, you know, it's hard for me to maneuver around this house, and it is hot. So I have a fan right here blowing on my lips, and I'm drinking. Right now, I'm drinking liquor and I'm drinking water. So as the moistness gets on my lips, the fan is drying my lips out. And you know what? Instead of me passing out right here, I'm gonna have chapped lips. So this fan is gonna stay on, and you guys are just gonna have to kiss my ass. Okay? All right. So anyway, cool. So the question of the day is, should a nigga let you know if he messed with niggas before? Or was interested in niggas? And so we're gonna take a look at this video. This topic was inspired by an interview that Jason Lee did not too long ago with Andrew, what's his name? Andre Marhall. Now, this is the guy that was sleeping with Jeffree Star and had the baby mama, this, that, and the third. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Jason Lee did a phenomenal interview. Andre is the fool. Ignorant. Just, I mean, completely made himself look like a fool to me. Just ghetto, ratchet, just, just embarrassing. And really cuter on Instagram. Him on here, I saw nothing but a queen. But that's a conversation for another day. So let's get a piece of this. And then let's talk about it. So let me share my screen. Let me okay, hold it, do this. Boom. Okay, boom. Okay, boom. Right here. I gotta get used to this. I don't use this that much. Got it. Okay, boom. Let's get into it. Okay, here we go. I want you guys to really get this in live and in person.
That before you have sex, most women think that before you have sex with them, you should tell them that you've been with men, like they should have a choice, right? Did you feel like she should have a choice?
No, because I was never really with men until the whole Jeffree shit. That's what I'm saying. Like I was with them. It was an experience, but it happened, but it wasn't nothing consistent. It wasn't nothing where I just kept like going back to it. That shit happened, and then like we never talked again.
So it was because it was experimental, you didn't feel the need to explain.
Exactly.
Okay. But some people would disagree with you.
Yeah, but that wasn't my girl. Like, that's my baby mom. That's it.
Do you believe that she would have reacted differently to the Jeffree Star situation had she known that you had been attracted to guys before?
No, she would act the same way, because no matter how much you communicate with females and they want to know everything and they say, hey, tell me everything and they still have the same reaction.
Because they can't handle it?
They can't at all. So whether I told her or not, she never can handle it. Just like I'm not with her now. She's in France. Why? Because she can't handle it.
And so she took your kid to France.
Exactly.
Do you believe that a woman has a right to know a man's sexual history before they were together?
If she can handle it, yeah. But at the end of the day, how I feel is I don't give a what a girl did before I met him. I don't care what a guy did before I met you. Like whatever you did in your past was before I met you. That had nothing to do with me. So we gonna focus on the present
and the future.
That's it, period.
I tend to say a lot of men want to explore their sexuality, but Black men won't allow themselves to. You've been somebody who's done it. What do you think about that? Do you think more people should explore their sexuality? Do you think it should be less controversial?
I feel like Black men should explore their sexuality, just because I feel like if you just like something and you want to try something different, something new, I feel like you should be comfortable with doing that and not really care about what anybody else thinks.
What do you think about women who can't handle conversations with their men about their sexuality? Do you think more women would be in happier relationships if their men could be open with them?
Yes, for sure. Like I feel like if men can be open with women and women can actually just handle the truth, then this won't even be happening. You know what I'm saying? Like
most women think that before you have sex with them, you should tell them that.
Okay. So boom. Okay, here we go. Let me bring that back. So he said what he said. Now, what was interesting, he just said, like, you know, he would tell a woman. However, a lot of women don't want to hear the truth or aren't understanding. And I'm going to be honest with you. To a certain degree, I agree. And a lot of women would say, you need to let me know if you've messed with a man. But the question is, why? Do you want to know if he's messed with a man because you just want to know if he's messed with men before? Or you want to know if it's because you want to know about his sexual history because you want to know the health risks? So it's just interesting. I feel like, honestly, I kind of feel like he don't need to really tell you. If he is not interested in men anymore, or I'm not going to say I don't feel like he doesn't need to tell you, but I feel like I understand why a lot of men don't. Because the bottom line is a lot of women will judge you because you've had dealings with a man before. I'll tell you a little story. Okay. There was a guy in high school that I messed with. And he's not gay. I still know him to this day. We don't talk. We're not friends. But the thing is this, he's got a baby. He's got a girlfriend. And I'm sure that he did not tell her that he put my thing in his mouth, but he definitely did. And I definitely did some things to him. We definitely carried. But my thing is, at 30 years old, should he now go and tell his girlfriend, well, listen, in high school, I sucked Armon's? Like, does he have to tell you that? I don't think he should, because a lot of women will be like, wait a minute, so you sucked a nigga dick in high school? So now we can't even go to the football. Y'all can't even go to the football game, go to the basketball games. You can't watch movies because the woman's going to be secretly feeling insecure because she's going to be feeling like, well, I can't compete with a man. You want a man. Maybe now, maybe if he's scared to swat a fly, you thinking he gay now because he done told you 15 years ago he sucked that dick. And so, I feel like, judging off of a lot of the comments that I seen in my chat when we were discussing the matter, I feel like I understand why a lot of these men are not open to, being honest and telling women that they've had dealings in the past. So I want to know what you guys think. I'm going to start bringing people up and let's talk about it. Should you know? Would you judge the guy if he told you that he, messed with guys in the past, but he's not interested in men anymore? What's the tea? So let me bring up a couple of people. What's going on, Miles?
Hi, how's it going, Armon?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Ready to get into some things.
Yeah, let's get into some things. So what do you think about this topic, this whole situation?
I think men should not have to tell women their sexual history unless they're asked. If you want to know so bad, just ask. I mean, if it's that serious to you where you will break up with someone, we're in 2020, you need to ask, have you ever been with men? Because that is a boundary for me. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with having that boundary, but are men just supposed to come out and say, oh, I've been with men, by the way? Women are allowed to have that time of, I was in college, I just, we started making out. It's my best friend. I love her to death. But no, I'm not lesbian. But men aren't allowed to have that. So I think guys should be allowed to have that too.
I like what you said, because it's like girls can mess around with girls and kiss girls, but it's such a double standard because guys can't.
It's almost hoped for. Some guys hope for that. It's like a little fantasy of theirs. But obviously, it doesn't have to be women's fantasy. But I just think, their history is their history. It shouldn't, if it affects you that much, just ask. It's that simple. It's like sexual status, like STD status. If you're that serious about it, you care that much, you need to ask and not just assume everyone's clean because they didn't tell you they're not.
And so, here's the thing that I find interesting. I feel like a lot of women only want to know for the idea of it being a man. Not even for some people will say the sexual risk, but I mean, there's a lot of sexual risk in sleeping with other women. So if a man is just being promiscuous, he's just promiscuous. It shouldn't matter if it's with a man or a woman. So I think it's to me, it's the idea of this man is sleeping with another man. It's so taboo.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So go ahead.
Yes. No, I was just going to say, there's a double standard with bisexuality in men and women. So women don't care for a bisexual male. They feel like if you had sex with a male, done anything sexual with a male, you're automatically gay. A lot of them feel there's no bisexuality. It's just gay with men, and you can be bisexual as a woman. That was my last thing.
Okay, let's bring some women on. Hey, what's going on? Hello, Kamina. Now, girl, you're gonna have to help me out with that. Okay, yes, sir. Okay, I'm not gonna do a lot of laggy streams. Hi, what's going on?
Hey, boo.
Okay, talk to me. What's going on? What you think about this whole situation?
You know what? Everybody has the right to know if you are sleeping with women, men, because it does carry diseases. Therefore, everybody should have the right to know. And I think it's unacceptable for your partner to not disclose whether you like female or men. And I also think that you should let that person know. But then again, a lot of females are freaks and don't care. So, but you have to give people the options if that's what they want to deal with. I don't think there should be no surprises in a relationship or friends and benefits, because it's messy and it could make you feel like it can make you feel hurt in a way. Now, I do have a story to tell you, and this is real, Armon. I always call in and tell you. A couple years ago, I was living in New York, and I had this guy. He really liked me, and he was crazy, but I couldn't put a finger on why he was always crazy. He was really nice. Moral of the story is that he got outed and kicked out the projects because he got caught sleeping with a transgender sister. And he never returned to the hood. And that just made me feel so violated in a way, because I'm like, what about if I was younger and I wasn't using protection? And then they sent me the video of him doing things with the person, and it had his tattoos and stuff. And I just felt violated in a way, because I'm like, I really liked him. And what about if I would have got pregnant, or what about if he would have gave me something? It was just an uncomfortable feeling. I think everybody has the right to know.
Okay, so let me ask you this. It's oh, you said two things. Damn. Okay, first, with the giving you something, I think that there's like this stigma. If he messed with a trans or a gay, then you automatically might need to get checked for something. When in reality, you should be focused on that, whether he's messing with women or men. Like, you shouldn't. I personally feel like people should be concerned about a person's sexual habits, no matter who they're sleeping with, because STDs don't have a gender to them assigned to them. In my opinion.
Well, Armon, I said women and men. You should.
Okay,
I want both.
I gotta interject. Okay, let's be for real. A lot of this is going on in the black or gay world, and it's the AIDS thing everybody's scared of. Syphilis exists, herpes exists, AIDS and HIV is not the only lifetime health scare. And then on top of that, people want to say it's the down low men and like, it's 2020. It's not too many down low men no more. I mean, there are, but it's so many people that's open, that's doing it, it's everywhere. And I feel like if someone genuinely fully loves you, you love that person, and they tell you that they had an experience before and that stops you, then one, you ain't really love them. And two, like I said in the comments, y'all even bad men for straight dudes who's still bringing you STDs and having extra babies in front of you, yelling, making a scene, and then you about to leave him to go to another straight nigga to do the same stuff. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, as long as he's not cheating on you, whether it be with a woman, a man, a trans, or a person that's non-binary, it shouldn't matter. Like, if y'all come into this relationship and y'all both had a clean bill of health, unless, like, y'all transmit something, then it's a question. But it's a question of who you were recently with, not who you were past with. Like, I feel like that's weird. And I feel like that's why a lot of people can't find love, because y'all focus on the wrong things. Y'all focus on what other people gonna think, and instead of worry about your own relationship. But that's just my thoughts.
No, that's interesting, because I think that's kind of where that you actually brought back my point, because I think the issue is, like the guy said, he said, well, he would tell, but a lot of women, if you told her, like, listen, I messed with a guy before, it's like, whoa, I can't be with you now. So people are in fear that they might lose their wife or their girlfriend or whomever they're dating, because if I come clean to you and say I may have messed with a men before in my past, you might judge them and no longer want to be in the relationship.
With more acceptance will come more testing. Like you say, Naya, you say you had an experience with a guy who had sex with a trans woman. He probably didn't get tested because he probably feels shame to even go get tested. You know, so with more acceptance will come more testing and more openness. Everyone wants openness, but they're not willing to. They just kind of, they kind of lash people with their just the way they treat the situation. I mean,
well, I get what y'all saying. Like I said, a lot of women are okay with their men sleeping with women or men, and some women don't care. Some women like that action. I don't, but some women don't.
Okay, so listen, if you were dating a man and he said, listen, I had a guy on guy experience at one point, but he told you this like 2 years into your relationship, what are you going to do?
I'm out, because you know what?
Oh.
Okay, so what if you had a child by this man? It's your now it's your baby's father. He's a great father, great to his child. You still just gonna leave this great father because
you don't have any diseases because y'all got a baby together, so you done been tested.
You have to leave him off one experience and you'd have been happy these whole 2 years, the best relationship of your life.
But if this is such a hard boundary for you,
one experience.
If this is such a hard boundary for you, why didn't you ask him up front? Have you ever been with you? You have no grounds to be upset if you're not asking up front. People need to get comfortable with asking up front.
And you're absolutely right, because nowadays you have to ask up front. which way you going, which way
Right.
you swinging. Are you a top or are you a bottom, or do you like any action? Like, you're absolutely right. But my whole thing is that you should always disclose whether you're gay or not. Like, a lot of men, they will ask you, do you do threesomes? Do you like girls? But we never think to ask, well, did you do something with a guy? Are you interested in men and stuff like that? Like I said, I just would want to know, because that's just me personally. And it's a hard situation. And if my baby daddy did something like that, girl, I'm not gonna hold you.
You gonna be a single mother just because of a previous experience?
Listen, let me tell you something. I was taught, when you have that baby, prepare for anything.
But
wow.
You're not.
So what is the thing though? Because now it's not the STD.
But he's never gonna. But listen, he's not. It's not even about STDs. When I said women and men, you have to be careful, because they can bring stuff. We don't know what their partners bring. I'm not saying them. I'm talking about their partners. What I'm saying to you is that me personally, I would like to know. And being single, it happens sometimes like that. And if he's with me, he's gonna want to opt out and he's gonna want to opt out and sleep with a man, and that just might be his thing. I'm not gonna be able to keep him so long. He's gonna want that. He's gonna want that. What's that word? That.
If it's monogamous,
for 2 years, ain't never told you nothing, but he was like, he wanted to be honest, and now all of a sudden you think he gonna be looking at people. That's insecurity. Because that's not insecurity. That's not insecurity. That's not insecurity, because if a man discloses that he's bisexual and you say, okay, I'm going to keep going with you, but you're always going to think he's bi, he might like a man. I don't have what man parts. So then let me ask you this. Then what is the difference from being straight with a straight man, knowing he likes women, and thinking he's not cheating every day? Either he's faithful or he's not. Who he's attracted to.
Exactly.
Put faith in it.
That I kind of get what you're saying, but it's with a man. I okay, so pause.
He's a human too. They're both human.
I want to talk about trans now, because I know on TikTok a lot of like cisgender girls, they be getting asked like, "Are you trans?" And I feel like in 2020 you can't even be offended no more, because they be looking good. Beat their face and everything.
Oh, hold on, hold on. Let's not go on the trend. Let's just keep it with the men right now. Let's keep it with the men. Hold on. I'm gonna bring. Okay, hold on. Let me bring somebody on. Go ahead.
Because the men is basically the sex anatomy. So, in her initial comment was about someone she knew that was with a trans woman. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you found out, like, okay, or let's say you never found out, you know about this girl. Some dude, he dated this girl, and then the world finds out that this girl is now trans, but no one ever knew, but it was an open public relationship. Is everybody about to start side-eyeing him now, or are you all of a sudden just not attracted to this person no more? Like, no, because you was attracted with him when you knew he was with this girl. You just didn't know this girl's personal business. So it's like, it's just contradicting to me.
Let's see. Let's take another person. What's going on?
Listen, she is absolutely right. At the end of the day, we don't know what people doing in the light and in the dark. We don't know who's having sex with who and who's doing what. At the end of the day, you laying down with somebody, you laying down with them. If it get to that situation to where y'all getting involved, that conversation might come up. But nobody's really going to say, oh, did you sleep with a man? Did you sleep with a woman? Oh, okay. That's what you did in the past. That's just me personally.
But do you think that? Let me ask you this though, because I think the problem is a lot of men would want to be more open about doing so, but they feel like the women are going to judge them. Why? What do you think? Like, why do you think that women are so judgmental when it comes to a man's history, with sleeping with other men? Like, what can we do to kind of help that?
But as a woman, we're gonna feel like, oh well, I'm not gonna be compatible to what you was having before.
So but what if you've been compatible? Because in this situation, they've had a baby. The girl is in love with them. They've been sleeping around. They still hook up, and she never knew that he.
I think they don't want someone who's feminine. They want a masculine man, which is fine.
And which is fine. Which is definitely fine. But some women, as a woman, some women can't handle that. Letting me know, oh, you were sleeping with men. They're gonna be very, very offended, especially the black woman. She's gonna feel a certain type of way. She definitely is. And it's so sad, because we all sleep with, I'm not saying everybody, but we all sleep with one another. With a condom, without a condom, we're not asking them questions. So at the end of the day, if he's putting that in his mouth, or if I'm eating the cooch, what should it matter? I'm with you.
Exactly. If it's a monogamous relationship, it
You
can be
understand me?
monogamous.
If we're together and we have that type of situation, then I'm gonna let you know, hey, I like to, deal with other females. Hey, I like to deal with other males.
And if that's a
But
boundary,
you got to remember, some people are not. Maybe because I was born in '81, my mindset is different. But everybody is different. A lot of people is not gonna take that. But listen, if that's what you used to do, that's what you used to do. Like I tell people, if you're gonna be dealing with things like that, wear a condom. You're gonna be choking on the mic or eating
But
on
I
the
think,
kitten.
but I think what Miles said is what it is. I think women cannot take the idea that
They
a man
can't.
could have tapped into a feminine side of himself and been with another man, even if he was the top. It's just the idea that
right?
Some women cannot, and they will not. It's not you. Y'all can talk about 1,000 ways, 1,000,000 ways. Some women will not. They
But
will
this is the
not.
reason why. But here's the tea though, because then we have to go into this. Now we're in the generation of OnlyFans, and I
Right.
subscribe to OnlyFans, and I follow a lot of straight boys. Actually, I prefer the straight boy OnlyFans. And baby, let me tell you, they
I ain't
got
gonna lie.
and they be on there, busting it open, doing the jacking off, coming and pushing it in their booties. Or they be making it hot for the boys.
I
Big
just seen the
over,
OnlyFans, and he said he was only for women, but it was a lot of males on it. I'm looking like, but if you're trying to get that coin, get that coin. I
But
ain't
my thing is, and some of them are not even sleeping with the men. They're just doing
not.
homoerotic things because they know they have a men audit, and they are really making me know it. So my thing is, you or somebody that you talking to, women out there, it's 1,200 people listening. Somebody got a nigga on OnlyFans showing his booty hole to the boys,
Well, I
and
hope
you
he
don't
bring me
know.
a coin. I hope he bring me a coin.
He probably bringing the coin and taking you out to eat, and you won't. And here's the tea: you don't have a problem spending the coin. However, when you find out that Miles and Armon looked at his booty hole for him to get the coin, now you in your feelings.
Well, some women will feel like that. Some women will feel like that. Listen, like me. Listen, at the end of the day, I was born in '81. A lot of things going on. A lot of people do a lot of things behind them closed doors. It's a lot of things we do with our men sexually that's behind closed doors, and we say to ourselves, well, but we continue to do it. Some men like they nipple sucked.
Yeah.
Some men like the, some men like the little girth to be touched.
Right.
But that's not to say is he doing some of the things? It's just certain things that our men like to do. But that at the end of the day, somebody got a feeling, certain things we done did that trigger it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. If that's who I choose to be with, that's who I choose to be with. If I'm going to deal with it, then I'm going to deal with it 100%.
Okay, Petty Bay, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Armon?
Hey, what you got?
Nothing. I'm sorry, Armon. I think I'm homophobic. Cause I would have a problem with that.
That's not homophobic. That's not homophobic. But at least tell me why you would have a problem with that. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
I have a problem. Like, I don't know. Like,
I just gotta say this: people with photos are going to get pushed to the front. FYI, because I don't be liking the StreamYard to look tacky without pictures. But
I'm sorry.
No, you look good. I'm not photos. People with video, like us three. Petty, that's why I made you wait so long, Petty, because you didn't have no video up. But anyway, a lot of people not showing their face. But I need people to. I like my stream to look a little neat, so I like the showing of the face for me. But it's okay. I'm gonna let it slide for the sake of conversation. So go ahead. Just FYI, if you're waiting a little bit longer, it's because you probably ain't showing your face. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know, but I was thinking about it, and it had made me feel kind of bad when I was thinking about it, because I was like, well, damn, if my dude told me that he liked the men, I would feel some type of way, and I would feel like he gay from then on.
But it's not that he likes men. He may have a experience with a man at one point. But we're not saying it was yesterday. It could have been in high school.
And certain things we do with our men is a little sexual. Saying. Some men like they nipples suck. Some men like the girth. If you sucking on the balls, that's touching on putting on the ass. That's part of certain situations. So I mean, at the end of the day,
I'm saying. If a dude told me he did anything with a dude, I'm gonna feel like he gay from then on.
Petty Bay, what if you've done something with a woman? Is he supposed to feel the same, or do you feel the same about yourself? For example, if you did do that with a woman.
No, I think it's okay for women. I just don't think it's okay for a man to do it.
So why is
Oh
it okay for women? You
Wow.
both,
Wow.
you both have sexual
Wow.
nature. You
Cause when
both have
we
masculine
dance,
feminine
cause when
I
we
energy.
mean,
dance
we
as
being
women,
realistic, right? We being
Yes, we are.
realistic
Yes,
about the
we are.
No,
Let's
yeah.
listen.
I know
Yes,
this is
we
the
are.
real
Let's talk
reality of
about it.
it. I
Let's
know
talk
this is the
about it. Yeah.
reality.
I mean, cause
This
when
is
we
the
dance
status
as
quo.
women and they dancing, we slap their ass. Go girl, we slap their ass. I mean, like, really?
Yeah, that's why I say I feel like I'm just homophobic, y'all. I'm
No, you're
sorry.
not
Maybe I need,
Honey.
homophobic.
maybe I
Maybe,
need to get some
but not
therapy.
in the back. Like,
I feel really bad though. Like
just
when
the
I
dad,
sat and
just
thought
the dad
about it, I was like,
homophobia.
yeah, that's really bad.
No need to feel bad. That's just how you
No,
feel. Don't feel
all
bad. That's
quality
how you feel.
treatment.
That's your opinion.
You might not feel like that in 10 years. You really don't
Right.
know.
But it's
You
like
know,
it's the way the world, like how we was conditioned in society. That's why a lot of
it
people think like this. So
Honey.
hopefully, in the future it'll evolve into something more. You know what I'm saying?
already is. It already is evolving. Don't worry.
Thank you, Petty
You're part of it.
Bay. Okay, talk to me.
What's up, room? Armon, I'm in love with you. I just want to say that. I love everything you do.
Thank
This
you.
is a healthy conversation for the Black community in general, and I want this conversation to continue going. But what I wanted to say real fast was when I was in
Whose
high
sound is it?
school.
Hold on. There's a TV going.
Oh, sorry. Might be mine.
Okay, well, we bring you back after you. Oh, yeah, that was you. Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
I wanted to say when I was in high school, I was in love. I'm married to a guy now, but when I was in high school, I was in love with this girl. I was infatuated, and we dated. And she had heard a rumor. Well, it wasn't a rumor. It was my feminine ways sometimes. But I
Mhm.
was like crazy. I loved her. I was like, damn, this is my chance. I'm gonna, do everything to make her happy. And it was the gay label that was pressed upon her for us not to be together anymore. And that kind of hurt me because I was like, damn, she didn't even give me the opportunity to like show myself or whatever the case may be. But I just think that nowadays it's becoming more acceptable for people to express themselves sexually because I'm 34. I just turned 34. And I find myself watching or, like not watching, but like, yeah, I guess I could say watching like different types of porn
Oh,
or, just certain different types of things start to attract me a little bit more versus just being a gay man that's only attracted to, certain type of, like I find women attractive. I find certain parts of the anatomy attractive. So I think that nowadays it's more acceptable a little bit, but I don't think it's acceptable for black, and I just hate to say this, for black women.
So okay, so what you're saying is you feel as though white women, Hispanic women, Asian women, they're more acceptable. And
Yes,
I'll be honest with you. I noticed a lot of the boys that I think are metro, like the Flashman Wade kind of guys, like the ones you like, are they gay? Are they straight? Like they like the Venice Beach kind of guys,
right,
they always end up dating Asian women, because they, to
right,
me, I feel like they're always with like Latin women, like Prince from Love and Hip Hop. You
right,
always see those type of guys with like Asian, Latin, women because they can be more in touch with their feminine side. They can wear the pink shorts and dye their hair blonde and green and maybe want
right,
their ass ate and maybe they would have a bisexual threesome and it'll be okay. With a black woman, it's like, nigga, you gay. And I don't give a F, what, and get out of here. I need a real
right,
nigga that's scamming, that's rapping, that's selling dope. No, that's how it comes across. So, but we
right.
got it is what it is. But let's get a black woman on here right now. Let's get
Please.
what your thoughts. What's going on, boo?
Hey, nothing
Hey,
much. I just left from getting my hair done. I was like, let me see how to get on here. So,
yes, you look
um,
cute.
thank you. So the thing for me is, I need now. I'm gonna go ahead and be completely honest. I ain't fooling with it. I don't
Okay.
want nothing to do with it, and I could just be 100%. Now, what I need you to do is tell me from the beginning because I'm going to be mad as hell. And I know this may sound bad, and I can honestly, I'm not homophobic, but I can really say like it's. I don't think it's nothing wrong with somebody choosing whether they want to be with somebody who's been with the same sex, man or woman, whatever you are. There's nothing wrong with choosing, you know, if you want to be with somebody who's been with the same sex. Now, that a lot of people ask the question, now, what for a man? Like, oh, well, men accept it. Some men that don't accept it, and I can say that my boyfriend is one of them. He told me a story that it's just to make it short. He was with a girl who he found out was bisexual. He do not like that. Like, he don't like it. He broke up with her. He wasn't fooling with it. He don't like it. So there are men out here who don't fool with that, and like that's their prerogative. You know what I mean? So for me, even if you tell me up front, like, hey, like a man look up to me and tell me, hey, I'm trying to fool with you, but I'm bisexual. Okay, well, I can't fool with you. I don't like that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you a
just don't
question?
like that. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Is it the idea of two guys being together or two girls being together, or is it the fact that you're not you personally, but I'm just saying you're not accepting of the homosexuality?
For me, it really is like, man, like you either have taken or given deed to another man, and I just can't do that.
Though. I respect the
honesty.
honesty.
The visual.
Yeah, it's the visual for you. It's the visual for you.
It's like,
and the reason why I asked that question, I didn't mean to cut you off. The reason why I asked that question because my good girlfriend, she's a lesbian, and we was having a conversation. She was like, "I can't see two guys having a conversation," and I'm like, "You just kissed your girlfriend in front of me. What are you talking about?" Like,
but listen, but I think this makes such an interesting point because there was a point in time, you know, as I was growing up, and my mom and my dad and everybody, they would all take me to church and they would get me, you know, delivered. And I was all for it. But then I started to realize once I become delivered, I'm never going to be able to find nobody because I cannot change the fact that I've messed with a man. So what am I getting delivered for? Just so that I can tell you, hey, I've been delivered. I don't like men anymore. I've given my life to God. I tried something. It's not what I want to do. I really want to be with you. I want to marry you. I love women. And you know, and you're gonna be looking at me like, sorry, buddy, you're cute, but I can't do it. You suck the dick.
That's exactly how we'd be friends though, but we could.
So it's like it's really like it's a lose-lose situation. But
and then
go ahead,
say something about how they were saying like that it's like black women as a whole. Now I can only speak for me. I can't speak for all black women, but I do know it's a lot of black women who don't have a problem with that. They don't have a problem with you being bisexual or whatever you are now, because I don't. That's the only. I really want to say, like, you can't keep on saying, oh, it's all black women or it's just a black woman thing, because I think there's women of every race. There might be majority black women, but, you know, a lot of black women, we just don't play out a lot of them. You know, and that's just what it is for us. Like, and other races are more accepting of a lot of things that we are not. I can really only speak for me when I just feel I can't do that. Like, even been together for 3 years, and you tell me you have done that, I'm really going to be like, so first of all, you waited 3 years to tell me that. That's not fair. I have a problem with that. You should know that sooner. I don't like that. That's number one. And then number two, now I'm like, well, you waited all this time to tell me, and now I'm feeling like you might be thinking about doing that. Because you waited so long. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Who's one at a time? Amina, Milan, and then Tay. You next. Go ahead, Amina.
Okay, so I chimed in on this earlier when you were on the right. Okay, because I honestly feel like it's a bias. Like, to me, a man being with another man is not disgusting. So I don't feel any kind of way about it. Like, I don't feel like you need to tell me, because I'm not trying to tell you about all my horse ways. Like, I don't want to go into details about my past. Who wants to do that? You're automatically going to look at it in a crazy way. Like, nobody wants to think about who they're in love with, sucking a fucking anybody, whether it's a man or a woman.
Period.
And I just feel like if it's unconditional love, it shouldn't matter who they was with. Just like,
if there's no like serious disease, if you guys both have a clean bill of health and you guys are not coming with some kind of internal viruses that needs to be talked about, then I don't really care what you've done before me. Because you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not really into, you know, transgenders sexually, and I'm not really into men that have been with transgenders, because, you know, there's a stigma with that. However, if you happen to get, you know, banged out by a tranny, I mean, like a transgender, excuse me, that's not the word. Oh my God. If you, that was an accident. But, you know, if you let, like, what if I'm letting a man, you know, what if I'm playing a bottom and I let a man top me and he's been topped by a transgender? If I found that out, that would really, that would destroy me. But if I
Right,
really
but see,
cared
it
about
would
you,
destroy
I
me if it
wouldn't
was
want to
another.
know.
I
But
wouldn't
what
know.
happened if you was in love with him?
First of all,
What happened if you was in
I
love
don't
with
want.
him,
No,
Armand?
I don't care. If I'm in love with him, I'm probably gonna get over it because by that time I find out that I'm probably gonna be over it. But I'm not even gonna ask that. I want to know this. Have you slept with any of my friends? Do you have any
Right.
diseases? Any kid? Like
Right.
anything like that? The other stuff I can find out gradually. Let me find out a little
Exactly.
later on so I
I
can
don't
deal
like
with it.
how it's like they automatically think that a STD or a disease is attached to a man.
Right.
Like,
Or a gay
are you
man.
serious?
Yeah, it's not even STDs or diseases or anything about that for me. It's just the fact that you've been with another man, and I feel like you bring it to me, like, say, after 2 years, like there's something in your brain that's making you think about that, and maybe that's why you told me that. And you might have told me that because you might be thinking about doing a little switcheroo or something. I don't know, but now I'm gonna feel away because you waited so long. You know what I'm saying? I might feel like you trying to hit me with the okie doke. I don't know. Now I'm like,
Okay,
look,
wait, hold
man.
on. Okay, so hold on. Let Tay, is it T or Tay? T. Tanae? Go ahead, Tanae.
I think you're muted.
Nuh-uh. She's got like a delay. You might need to get some headphones, love. We can't hear you. Is something going on? Social, I'm gonna bring you down because it's glitching right now. I'm gonna bring some of y'all down. I'm gonna bring y'all down, and I'm gonna bring you up. But can you hear me, Tanae? I cannot hear you. Let me see. Who's this other? Oh, let me read this. It says it's also ego/competition. Some women feel that they will not be able to compete sexually with the man. I've had friends that say that they feel that they are not good enough for their man if he has been with another woman. That was good. Amina, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Can. Yeah, but I'm just like, that could be the case if he with a hoe and she really good at what she do. Like, it's not
so true.
Specific to a man.
Okay, Queen Walker, what's going on?
Hi, Armon.
Hey, you look cute. You're so pretty. What's going on?
Thank you. I wanted to say, okay, so I have been with guys that been with other guys before, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel like some women are insecure and they feel like they're going to get left by their guy for another guy. But I feel like at the end of the day, if a guy's going to cheat on you, he's going to cheat on you whether it's with a woman or a man. Like, it don't even matter. Right. And number two, I feel like a lot of women feel like just because a man is gay, that makes them not masculine. And that's not true at all.
Well, sometimes they'll cheat because they had to suppress themselves their whole entire lives. And it's like one day you just snap, for obvious reasons. You have to suppress yourselves because it's not just women. It's actually work environment too, where men aren't allowed to be openly a homosexual.
All right. And that's true. And that's why a lot of women that are out there talking about they want to be okay with that. They're already having sex with guys that have been with other guys.
Right.
Like because of society, they don't want it. They're not going to tell you because they're afraid of being judged. So they might as well get over it. It's already happening.
Most definitely.
Okay, so I wanted to play this quick video because we got about 1,500 people in the chat, so I know people didn't see it. So for the people that may have missed it, let's play it again, and I want to get some fresh thoughts.
Being with men like
okay.
Most women think that before you have sex with them, you should tell them that you've been with men.
Everybody
like
mute.
She have a choice, right? Did you feel like she should have a choice?
No, because I was never really with men until the whole Jeffrey shit. That's what I'm saying. Like I was with them. It was experience, but it happened, but it wasn't nothing consistent. It wasn't nothing where I just kept like going back to it. That shit happened, and then like we never talked again.
So it was because it was experimental. You didn't feel a need to explain.
Exactly. Okay.
But some people would disagree with you.
Yeah, but that wasn't my girl. Like that was my baby mom. That's it.
Do you believe that she would have reacted differently to the Jeffree Star situation had she known that you had been attracted to guys before?
No, she would act the same way because no matter how much you communicate with females and they want to know everything and they say, hey, tell me everything and they still have the same reaction.
Because they can't handle it?
They can't at all. So whether I told her or not, she never can handle it. Just like I'm not with her now. She's in France. Why? Because she can't handle it.
And so she took your kid to France.
Exactly.
Do you believe that a woman has a right to know a man's sexual history before they were together?
If she can handle it, yeah. But at the end of the day, how I feel is I don't give a what a girl did before I met him. I don't care what a guy did before I met you. Like whatever you did in your past was before I met you. That had nothing to do with me. So we're gonna focus on the present
and the future.
That's it, period.
I tend to say a lot of men want to explore their sexuality, but black men won't allow themselves to. You've been somebody who's done it. What do you think about that? Do you think more people should explore their sexuality? Do you think it should be less controversial?
I feel like black men should explore their sexuality, just because I feel like if you just like something and you want to try something different, something new, I feel like you should be comfortable with doing that and not really care about what anybody else thinks.
What do you think about women who can't handle conversations with their men about their sexuality? Do you think more women would be in happier relationships if their men could be open with them?
Yes, for sure. Like I feel like if men could be open with women and women can actually just handle the truth, then this wouldn't even be happening. You know what I'm saying? Like
most women think that before you have sex with them, you should tell them that you've been with men. Like they should have a choice, right?
Okay. So we got it. Okay, so we just needed to refresh it. Okay, you guys take the floor. Take the floor. I'm about to pin the link. Take the floor.
That boy's slow. Number one, I think that was like the smartest thing he said was when he said something about he don't care about what happens in somebody's past. But it might be because of his past. I don't know. But he is clearly slow and clearly sweet. Like I think Jason did a good job of that interview, but at the same time, he did make a lot of good points. That's probably the only time I felt like in an interview he made good points.
I don't see a reason why someone has to tell you their sexual history. It should not be mandatory unless you say it is. I mean, it's pretty simple. If it's a hard no for you, a hard boundary, that's perfectly fine. You're not maybe there's a dash of homophobia, but it's not like you're a hateful homophobe. I mean, maybe a dash, but I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying, everyone's allowed to have their boundaries. That's for you to process. Maybe in 10 years, you'll be ready for that. When everyone's blended in.
But a lot of people with these so-called boundaries end up single because that's not unconditional love. It's like,
right. Well, love doesn't have to be unconditional, I believe, but I want to exude unconditional love, but I don't think it has to be unconditional.
Okay, Kamante.
K-Mane.
And Kamini. How do you say that?
K-Mane.
Kimanisha.
Oh, Kimanisha. Okay, go ahead.
K-Mane.
Well,
let Kimanisha go first.
The initial. I want to chime in. I want to chime in on the first, and your first question or whatever. I don't think if he's in the past and he's no longer, it was an experience and no longer what he's doing now, it shouldn't be an issue. I believe your past is your past. But if, like your friend just said, the question should be asked up front. Women don't generally ask that question to a man they think is heterosexual. Why would they ask that kind of question?
Well, so you saying like, why would a woman ask that kind of question?
Right, if she thinks she's dealing with a heterosexual man.
Well, she doesn't. Nowadays, you don't know, so now we have to normalize asking.
Yeah,
it's new. I mean, normalize it now.
So,
like, why does it?
You're right.
But I think that you should ask those things because you shouldn't put things past anybody, especially if it's a non-negotiable. Like we're at a point where you just because someone appears to be one thing, you see. I think the issue is this: people think that gay looks like whatever you think it looks like. Gay doesn't look like RuPaul in the 80s. Gay doesn't look like Santana in 2020. Gay looks like me, Miles, Jason Lee, your baby daddy, gay looks like a lot of different things. So, these are questions you got to ask because every gay man is not feminine.
That's so
you know what I mean? And some of these people I'd be having to think is gay.
And every straight man is not masculine.
And every straight man is not masculine. I like that.
Definitely not.
Okay, go ahead, K
on
that.
All above is true. I was just like,
No, you're right. Why would they ask that? Well, now we need to start, I guess.
All right.
Should have been started.
All right. First of all, I want to say hi, Armon. I love your show. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I feel like if a guy has been in a relationship with another man before and now he decides to, get in a relationship with a woman, me personally, I feel like I should know. I would want to know if he's been with a man. That's just like
Correct.
all in
Well,
the
no,
same.
no, Andre.
It's all in the same. Just like, okay, Armon, you prefer, you're interested in guys. You're
Mhm.
not interested in females. You're interested in guys. It's to me, that's all in the same. Like, I'm interested in being with a guy who's never been with another man. That's
Right.
just my preference.
Right.
It's all the
So,
same thing. You see what
No,
I'm
but
saying?
I
It's
think that,
it's nothing about diseases or anything like that, because you can catch a disease being in a straight
but here's my thing.
relationship.
But
You
here's
can
my
catch a
thing.
disease being in.
But I think the issue is this, though. The issue is not what your preference is. The issue is what
Mm-hmm.
they're hiding from you because they know that the stigma that comes with your preference. So the thing is, you could meet that guy that you're looking, unbeknownst to you, you have the straight guy
Right.
that has never messed with the man. You don't, a person, when they first meet you for the first year, 6 months, year, 2 years, you're not going to know everything about them. Everybody has a great
Right.
representative of who they are. A person is not just going to
Right.
go and tell you all their deepest, darkest secrets. So that guy that you get with, he could have potentially had a gay experience at one point. So the thing is this, though. If he gets to a point in your relationship and he decides to confide in you and let you know that, hey, we've been dating for a while and I want to let you know, I'm really rocking with you. I want to marry you. But before we, get to that level, we've been dating for a while. I want to be completely honest with you. I even messed with a guy before. What would you do?
Okay.
That's tough.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep it a buck and be honest with you. I
well,
mean,
he'll make you feel
I
some
you
type of
know,
way. He
if that
Doesn't
was
will.
have to
the
be your
case,
thing.
and if he said that, I would be like, yo, I would ask him like, how come you didn't say this in the beginning of our relationship?
Well, because the person could be like, well, shit, I did it in high school. I'm not gay. I don't like
Correct.
niggas.
It's
You
an
know what I mean?
experience.
It was an experience because I kissed a boy before, a straight guy. He's literally not gay. But I mean, would I advise him to tell his baby mom and his wife and all that he kissed me in the 12th grade and we 30? No, not if she gonna leave
I
him.
mean, no, like in that
That's definitely
situation, in that case, I mean, no, that's something that happened in high school, and he decides to come out and tell me. I mean,
You don't have to
that's a
love it, but
little.
you love him.
I mean, it's irrelevant. You know what I mean?
That's
If we
exactly
love
what I'm
each
saying. Your
other and
past should be
that's
your
something that
past.
he
Right,
experienced, and
Misha.
back then, that's then.
Yeah, because we're not talking
Like,
about a man that actively likes men. We're talking about a man that had a
yeah.
male on male experience, but is not interested in men anymore.
Okay. Because see,
Correct.
it was another female that was on, and I was listening to what she was saying, so I was kind of piggybacking off of what she was saying, but she's not on here. So, but yeah, like you said, if that's something that he experienced in school and here 30 years later he in a relationship, I mean that shouldn't matter. So yeah, I mean
Well,
I can
especially in a
see that.
developed relationship. But if it up front, that's your thing, and you have a hard boundary, that's fine too. It's your.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like I'm gonna act crazy like what homegirl did. She took the child and ran off, and
Right.
no, like
Who is
that's
this? Who is this that I'm looking at in the back with the T-licious? Come on.
Delicious.
Oh, hey, let's talk to us.
Okay, so I actually had a situation where I dated someone who was actually on the down low.
Ooh.
I somewhat suspected because I feel like I have I don't know, I have a lot of gay friends to kind of suspect, and I didn't care. So I actually had that conversation with him in the beginning, and I was like, yo, are you at first was like, have you ever messed with any guy before? He was like, no. I was like, never? He was like, no. I was like, do you like guys? Are you attracted to? He was like, no. I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah. I was like, well, we got to get tested, and stuff like that. So we kind of went through that whole process. But there was a thing of me, and I even had a conversation with my mom, and my mom was like, why do you always have a gaydar and feel like, I said, I just feel like he's not honest. And there's just something about him that is not telling me the truth. And I was like, I don't care. And I told him, I was like, I dated someone before who, been involved. So it's not a thing, try to make him comfortable. But he still didn't. So we didn't cross that line because, it wasn't no trust. Come to find out, he was actually his ex-girlfriend and him broke up because she caught him in bed with another guy who happens to be a deacon of a church. Oh yeah. So I was like, it was good that I didn't, because I just felt like he was being dishonest, even though I tried to assure him like this is not a deal breaker, like just be honest, let's just tell me if you are. And he was like, no, I'm not. And I even tried to have conversations with him. I was like, why don't you have this conversation with your kids and stuff like that? And he was like, well, I'm not. And secondly, even if I was, it's nothing for my kids to know. It's none of their business. And I was like, why wouldn't you want your kids to know? And this is someone who's very successful in the community, very well known. And he was like, it's just no one's business. I was like, we live in 2020. Like, what are you afraid of? Like, what's, I don't understand. Like, no one really cares about stuff like that.
People care.
He was like, he's not embarrassed. I was like, but if you're not embarrassed, why can't you just live in your own skin? Like, be out, be free. And he was like, I'm not. I was like, okay. But then randomly he was like, would you go to gay pride with me? I was like, absolutely. He was like, really? I said, yeah. And then, he was just like all over the place, but don't want to own up to it. So I was like, I can't. It's either you're comfortable with yourself and in it or you're not, because I can't deal with stuff like this. You're not sure. That means you're flopping all over the place with different people, and I can't get that energy being a part of that. I want someone who's comfortable and say, yeah, this is my situation, and this is my partner. And if that's something you want to get involved with, if it's going to be a throuple or whatever, 3 people or whatever the case might be, but keep me in tune, like, especially if I'm being transparent with you and tell you, like, I don't have a problem with your sexuality, whatever it is, like,
Yeah,
that's what happened.
He can tell you automatically,
Yeah, but it sucks because it was like I wasn't going around telling people. I've already kind of suspected. I just needed clarity.
It's hard. A lot hangs in the balance. A lot hangs in the balance of homosexuality. Like, so many aspects of your life can change.
Go to Pride Week with me, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's weird, but taking the parts like a.
Yeah.
All right, let me just say that. Can I chime in now? Because I've been seeing this chat. I was driving home and I'm like, ooh, Armon before he even recorded live, like, me come on the panel. But I'm like, I look a mess and I'm not getting on camera, so he didn't want me on here without camera. But I'm on here because there has been a lot of dialogue that has been going on that has been very, 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 very triggering for me. It's just very triggering. Some of the words of people saying that a person having a preference is insecure, or they're insecure, the reason why they don't want this, or it's this way or that way. I feel like that's because the same way, like the woman who was on before, she was saying, like, you have your preference in wanting to deal with the same. People should have their preference for wanting to deal with the opposite sex. I don't feel like that's an insecurity. I don't feel like you're insecure because you with another man. That's your preference, And so every time I seen somebody come on and say that, I was irritated. It just really grinded my gears because am I insecure because I don't want to date a married man? Am I insecure because I don't want to date a guy who makes $7 an hour, who can't really, do much for me? I'm a woman who got a baby. I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm doing things for myself. Am I insecure because I don't want to lower my standards? I don't feel that's insecurity. So that's one thing that was very triggering for me. Also, the other thing that the guy said in the clip that Armon has showed, the guy has said, oh, well, I don't want to tell them because they're going to not be able to handle it. It's not a fact of a woman being able to handle it or not handle it. That's not a person's choice. Just like if a guy is married, it's not his choice to be like, oh, I'm not going to tell her that I'm married because she may not be able to handle it. No, that's not your choice. It's my choice to deal with who I want to deal with. You have to still be open. A lot of it was like, if people were open, people wouldn't be accepting. That's not the other person's problem on who agrees or not, because there is, like the woman who came on, she said she dates guys who deals with guys. And there was 2 women actually who came on and said that they dealt with guys who dealt with other guys. So there's plenty of women who deal with that. It's just not your choice to try to make that my choice to do.
Right.
You're definitely allowed to have that boundary, you know? Definitely. Everyone is.
I don't think it makes you insecure, but it, you know, to a certain degree though, it can make you insecure because it's like, well, if everything has been going well thus far, and then it switches because you found out 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 years ago, he had a gay or a man-on-man experience, and you like thinking all of a sudden now he likes men over you when you guys have had a perfect relationship, then that can be looked at as being insecure.
Insecurity doesn't have to be a curse word. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. You know, I think that's a natural feeling.
Okay, let me just say this. I'm gonna go back and finish watching the show, so I'm gonna just tap on up out of here. But
All right, thank you. Love you too. Thank you.
Also, another thing that I wanted to point out was the sexual aspect. People keep saying that, you know, it's like, what's the difference between heterosexual sex and, you know, having sex with this person, that person. You're right. Having sex with somebody CD from either side. However, I think there's a lot more used when it's a sexual experience between a man and a woman because of the prevention. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's going to have sex with somebody and say, oh, I'm about to have sex with him, but I think he got an STD. You don't have sex with people you think have STDs. Most of the time that these people are using condoms, it's because they're trying to prevent babies. So when you're dealing with man on man, the reason why I think that people are more on high alert to think that there may be a higher risk of STD between a man and a man is because there isn't that boundary of you know, baby prevention. So you're not going to go in there having sex with somebody that you think have an STD.
I know lots of girls who have unprotected sex. I feel like girls are only concerned about pregnancy.
Yeah, that's the problem, honestly.
Yeah, and you're right. They're concerned about pregnancy, but it's more like pull out or I'm on birth control. I don't think they're, from my girlfriends, a lot of them would have unprotected sex if they want to, you know? I mean, and they're in their right to do that.
Lucia, are you going to say something or are we going to kick you out?
No, I'm going to say something. I just was trying to wait for everybody to talk.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
No. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I was just trying to wait for everybody to talk. But how I feel about it personally is in 2020, if you're not asking your man if he slept with a man before, you're doing it wrong. Because I just feel like at this point, it's because I'm like a birth woman or whatever, and one of my closest friends was transgender. And I met her when I was in college, and I had never experienced, like, I've never been around trans women. I hadn't even been around that many gay people. So living with her, I saw firsthand, like, it'll be the men that you never think, you never suspect. So as a woman, I feel like if you're not asking your man or somebody that you're talking to, I mean, are y'all even really talking at this point in time? Because whether you know it or not, chances are you probably have already slept with somebody who slept with a man. And I don't feel like it makes you insecure, because me personally, I'd be kind of insecure if my man told me that he had slept with men before, only simply because I feel like a man's going to know how to please a man better than I would. So that would make me a little bit insecure. Like, that's just how I feel about it. But I don't feel like a woman saying that it does make her insecure. I don't feel like that's a bad thing, but I do think that it's something that should be asked. And you just assuming, oh, because he's attracted to me and I'm a woman, I don't have to worry about nothing else. I feel like that's the question you need to ask. Like, I don't feel like it's disrespectful. I just feel like it's something that you should know. I don't think that you should wait time and time, like, oh, I don't know, I have suspicions. Just ask him. And if he gets offended, then I mean, that's him. But I feel like that's my right to know. And you're a grown man. You should be comfortable and confident enough in your sexuality to tell me. That's just how I feel about it.
Okay, Miss Gonzalez.
Hey, Armon.
Hey, what's going on? Candace, look straight. You're on camera.
I know. I was looking at Candace.
So I just want to say that I love your show. I try to catch it whenever I can.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I actually wanted to come on here and only share my experience.
Okay.
So I can't really like give you
it's okay and it's not okay. Because when it comes to homosexuality, to me, it's a lifestyle, and of course, it's a choice. So everybody's gonna go through it, and everybody's gonna experience some things, but that's ultimately up to that individual whether it's for them or not. So you know, for the LGBT community, I'm glad that you'll have like some type of support. So that much I appreciate about them. Like, but from my experience, I'm not a lesbian myself, but I had an ex-boyfriend who wanted me to participate in like lesbian action with him. Why? I guess like when it comes to your man trying to sleep with another man, or a woman trying to sleep with a woman, it's some type of competition. That's just the only thing that I've ever noticed. It's just some type of competition, whether it's with the man or the woman. So I love my ex. I really do. I still do, no matter what. But I made a deal with him.
Okay.
I told him, okay, since you have a desire for me to like have an action with a woman, because that's his sexual preference, my deal is I want you to have action with a man based on who I choose. So he's like, okay, like I agree. So this is where it went sour. This is where it went sour.
Okay.
I let him try to find whatever women that he can hook us up with as a couple. I had no issue with that. But when I was finding all the guys, and I was getting like guys back to back to back, like just as a contact list, he got insecure immediately. So I just asked.
We had the situation on reverse.
Huh?
I said, so you basically had the situation, the conversation on reverse. Yours was with a guy who wasn't secure with you messing with other men.
That, and then on top, it was that, and then he was technically going back on his word on I want him to engage on a man since he wants me to engage on a woman that he chooses. Does that make any sense?
Right.
So you guys, you wanted to be swingers, like an orgy.
Well, I'm stuck at gay is a choice, but that's but that's a whole other conversation. Yeah, that was a whole other conversation. But with this story, I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe yeah.
Yeah, that's
he wants them to be able to both have sex with both sexes, like
right.
I think what she's saying is, if you want women, I want you to get fucked by men. I mean, sorry, men.
Okay, so you were going to let him get penetrated by a man, but see, here's the thing: you open up Pandora's box, and he really showed you how to get fucked by a man. You'll gag. If he really, what if he was in there really showing you how to? Really then are you going to leave? Like, you got to be careful when you open up those kind of things, because he might do it, and then that's when insecurity comes in, because you like, damn, you sucked that dick better than you ate my coochie. Now you think he's a professional dick sucker.
Yeah, but that was on him. See, me, I had no insecurities when he was trying to pair up any females to get with me and him. But when I was trying to find guys to pair up with him, he got insecure. So it was just like, what do you want? Do you want us to engage or do you not? And then eventually to him, it was so much competition. And then the only negative side when it comes to like poly relationships was he just felt really insecure, and then he felt like maybe the other guy was better, or I don't know, like it went completely left, yet it was his idea. So it was like, I tried, but I guess it's just not for everybody, because you gotta like really.
But you were open to trying, and he was insecure. So at least that's a start.
Yeah.
Do you identify as Black?
Yeah, I identify as Black because whether I go
what are you?
My mother, she's Creole. She's Cape Verdean, so it's Portuguese and African. And then my father,
he's Black and Native American, but no matter what race I just kind of like stand in front of, white people see me Black, the Hispanics see me Black, the Asians see me Black, but
do Black people see you as Black?
nah, never.
Yo, I'm going somewhere with this because I wanted you to say it, not me. Because what that means, you would be considered, those people in our community, one of the understandable bitches. You know, the ones that are willing to let their man try some things. You don't look like the average Black woman that's going to be like, nigga, nah. See you with those kind of guys because you look like that kind of girl that would do it. Typically, Black women that don't look the way that you identify, you know, or look, they're more on the I can't do it, dog. Nah, ain't happening. You know it, but this is a part of it. We're getting into the stereotypes. We're getting into it, but this is what it is. These are facts.
Yeah,
So,
but if I'm speaking on behalf of Black women, I mean, the only thing I can say is there's nothing wrong with having an open conversation with your significant other on whether he's been with guys or not. Because again, that's ultimately up to you guys. That's
okay.
a lifestyle. You agree with it? Yes. If not,
Go ahead, Cam.
So hi, I just can you hear me? Yeah, so I have a personal experience because I'm HIV positive, I'm gay, and the person that transmitted HIV to me was sleeping with trans girls, straight women, and gay men. So I personally, just in my experience, I like for people to have an open conversation about their past history before we get into the bedroom. So I think as a straight woman, as anyone, as a person going through like life experience and sleeping with someone, I think you just have to ask those questions before you hop into bed with anyone. I do think I think that within the Black community, yes, it's not as comfortable to be open about, you know, sleeping with men, and there's judgment going on because we haven't really dealt with the homophobia in the Black community first. So, you know, until we deal with the homophobia in the Black community, we can't really get across that bridge of, you know, having our Black men sexually fluid and open, because there are Black men that, you know, are bisexual, and we just can't discredit that. There's just sexually fluid people in general. So I do think, you know, it's a deeper topic.
Okay, what you anybody want to rebuttal that or say anything or have an opinion on that?
I'm curious. Do you think because you said people should be open about their sexual status? I agree, but don't you also feel like people need to normalize asking these questions more so?
The thing is, you can ask all you want, but like people are gonna give you what they want to give you. Yeah, people are gonna give you what you want, because I'm a Pisces, so I'm always asking questions. I want to know the depth of everything, who you've been with, how long, what's going on, and then also with the trauma. Now I'm just even more heightened with like all that stuff. I'm very like, what's going on? But people are still like, they maneuver on how to gauge you and stuff like that. But personally, I just like to put myself out there, especially sexually, because I think it's safer. Right. And it, you know, there is stories of people not being honest about their sexual experience, and stuff happens. And, you know, I think that's why in society we're so quick to like, you know, be on the defense of like our men being gay, especially straight women. I think they don't want to have any like question. They don't want to question their man, basically.
Candace, welcome. The married one on the panel.
Okay, let's go, Candace. Can you hear me? Unmute.
Hey, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
my sound is going in and out. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing.
Welcome.
Like when I hear you, you sound fine, but every other person literally sound like some weird shit. So what I'm doing is I'm like turning up the sound on my computer every time somebody else talk, because I'm like, this is so hood. Like I don't know why it's not working for me. Okay. But anyway, okay. And I'm sorry, I won't be able to respond to what each of you said because I kind of was trying to get my phone together. So what I want to say, for my opinion, for the topic, let's start with the first question you asked. Should a man have to tell you that he's been with another man? My answer is no, off rip. Now, if you're dating them continuously, building something, then yes. Yes, I think that you should, because I don't know. I feel like any other topic, and I know we don't like to group them all into one, but I do. Any other topic when it comes to things I agree with and things you agree with, or vice versa. That's politics, religion. Add any example you want to put in there. That's what we're talking about, to see if we're a good fit for each other to continue a relationship and or marriage or whatever you want. So with each of those topics, I feel like you should be honest. Like, I feel like you should be very honest. And if you're not, because you are afraid of how the woman's going to react, I feel like that's very, very selfish. It's like, well, you know what? I don't want her to react bad, so I'm going to keep it to myself. But that secret, like, that causes deceit. Like, you have to be able to trust the person with you with. Like, I don't trust you at all.
But don't you think that's deceit from the beginning? Like, if you're not open about that from the beginning, like, why would you wait until somebody's feelings is involved to then tell them how you feel?
No, I don't agree with that, because then okay, so then are we putting so I guess, are we putting a level on what should be expressed in the beginning? Because that could be deceit, but having 10 kids could be deceit. Having a drug charge could be deceit. I mean, there's so many levels of what could be deceit, or do you just want to know, nigga, if you've been with a man, is that the ultimate thing that you need to know up front? Like, you can get over everything else, but you just need to know, listen, if it's a man, it's a deal breaker. Because I don't know if I feel like that's deceit, because I feel like we don't find out a lot of things about people until we get in for a minute. A mama not gonna tell you everything about them the first few months, the first year. It takes some time, because they gotta get comfortable, because we all have secrets. Every last one of us have something that we will not just go on the first date or be in a relationship and just be like, oh, hey, let me tell you this about me, because I don't know how you may react.
I feel like there's minor things that are deal breakers that you may not reveal, but then there are big things. I feel like the same way that I feel like you should tell your sexual orientation is the same way you should tell if you have children or not. If I have a daughter, it may be a guy's deal breaker to not want to date a woman
it's my turn
with a child. So do I wait till this guy has feelings for me to then say, oh, by the way, I have a child, and that's something that he may not want to rock with? Because there's some people who want to build their relationship or their foundation or their union with a woman who is the person who bears their first and only child. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like sexual
but be clear, people do
along
that
with
all the time,
children,
though. People do that all the time.
That's not right. I don't think that that's right.
But I don't think that that's wrong, because I don't feel like I need to lead with the fact that I have a child first, because you get to know me. I don't think that you should have to lead with that. You can if you want to, but you don't have to tell anybody that you have kids right away.
Children can be a deal breaker. I understand why. I get it.
But so can sleeping with a man.
And that should be known up front.
You know what I mean? And obviously HIV, could be a deal breaker. But to me, those are different levels. To me, right. Now, because if you mess with a man, like, let's say, okay, we all in our 30s or close to it or whatever, and a person tells you, I messed with a guy in high school, he should tell you that on the first date or in the beginning.
I feel like that's the same as say like a Kenny Petty. You dating a guy with his rap sheet, he don't tell you. Then y'all start getting into a relationship, and then later you find out that he got to register. He a SO. I feel like there are certain things that should be disclosed right away. Like Nicki Minaj, I'm sure she was aware of. She made the decision whether she wanted to deal with him or not. But had they got into a relationship, they got in love, they start dating, and then later it came out like, oh, by the way, when I was younger, this happened. I feel like there are a lot of things that are very important. And I feel like sexual orientation, criminal record, children, I feel like those are the main things that are very important.
I agree. Go ahead. I mean, anybody, Candace, you can talk if you need to, because she can't hear.
Yes, I know. It's back in and out. Okay. So I wanted to just dive a little bit deeper into what I meant when I said like deceit, because I feel like the fact that the man is not choosing to tell, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's choosing not to tell. There's clearly a reason he's choosing not to tell, right? Which would mean he's afraid of the answer or the response or whatever the case is. Right. That's still you being deceitful. That's just is what it is. Now, wait, hold on. And if it's a woman that he wants a relationship with, like long-term or marriage or something, like that is a big deal. And just because you're afraid of how the other person gonna respond, that does not give you the right to just keep that to yourself, because it's going to come out one way or another. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like once you're invested all the time, or you have kids or something, like that's not cool. Like you could have gave that girl a chance in the beginning, and said
Yeah,
man,
I
you know,
kind of
like
feel
that's
like
messed up.
I feel like that's not fair though, because it's just kind of like, well, like if I feel like you're gonna leave me over something that happened in the past, and we've
Then
been
I'm not the
talking
woman for
steady,
you.
but that's like, but you know, this is why a lot of people are not honest, because they feel like they get judged for things
See, but
that
that's
are
their
just
own fear. But you got to, that's not fair. That's their own fear. And you got to think about it. If you're so afraid of how I'm going to react, I'm not the woman for you. You need somebody who's more accepting, more loving, more this, more that.
Yeah.
I'm not her. And
Yeah.
I feel like you trap somebody in this place of falling in love with every part of you, but a big part. And that's deceit. And that can go as far as anything. You know what I'm saying? So once a woman, I'm telling you how we think. Once you done lied about that, you got to think. With women, we think about every single conversation, baby. I remember that conversation when I had told you my cousin had came out the closet and you was like, what? That nigga gay?
Yeah.
Like women, we remember everything. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
then
that's fact.
so you know what I'm saying? So then we gonna be like, so how come when I told you my cousin had came out, you had said, you know, like, why
Yeah,
you
that was
react
your
like that?
response.
Why'd you
Yeah.
react like that? Or why'd you react like this there? And
But
then,
see, that's when the insecurity comes in.
That's
no,
not
but it's still
insecure.
no. That's just this person keeping like a different part of themselves. Because think about it, a man who's gay or bi or whatever, he wouldn't react like that. He'd be like, well, ain't nothing wrong with that. Or I remember that time when I had kissed a nigga, like you chose to say ugh or something. So for a woman, it's like you chose to keep a secret, and then it makes us go down a spiral of how many more secrets. Or did you lie when you said this? Did you lie when you said you like my mama? Like my whole family is cool. Like we go down a spiral of how many more lies are there. And I feel like that all starts with the deception in the beginning. Therefore, yes, you should be honest in the
I feel
beginning.
like if a man feels like, and I just have to play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
If a man feels like he can't come to you, especially if you're in a relationship or whatever, and he can't be honest with his woman, because people, it happens all the time. They feel like there's something that has happened in that relationship where the woman has made him feel like he cannot be completely honest.
And I will believe that if she's the only one who don't know the secret. Now, if everybody in your family don't know, and all your homeboys and you know what I'm saying? If the woman's the only one who don't know the secret, then I believe you. But if that's a secret from everybody, you just keeping a secret.
Okay, so is it
living a lie?
It's Superfly.
Oh,
Superfly.
Superfly. What's going on?
Go ahead, Superfly.
I feel like it comes down to honesty and respect. And
Right.
you know what? Daytime, tea time, and Neek hit right on it. It's a cop-out putting it on the woman saying that she's not going to react right. It's not about the reaction. It's about you disclosing the information, giving her an opportunity to make her choice, regardless of how she acts. If she acts however, then you know that it's not the right relationship and it's time to move forward, right? But you have to give her the choice. Now it's kind of, you guys are talking about kind of two different things. One being if it was 30 years ago and he didn't wind up gay in the end.
Yeah.
Now that I kind of have mixed feelings on that. Because
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, from high school.
Right. If he didn't turn out gay ultimately, then why are you rooting up something from childhood? So that one I have mixed feelings about. But then again, it could be a preference thing because, for instance, what if someone had cancer 30 years ago and it's been in remission and then you got with them? Do you want to know that person had cancer 30 years ago? Like I would, because what if it reoccurs? If it reoccurs, it can affect my life as well. I feel like that's something that I should know. And so to me, it's the same type of thing. Even though it happened so long ago, it's a critical piece of a self-identity. Like, you could potentially have that desire uproot again. And if that happens, what is that doing to me? Like, where does that place me in today?
Okay, so let me ask you. So wait, hold on. There's the double standard with that. Because women play the lesbian game all the time, and they can just be like, oh, I was just, I kissed a girl this weekend.
Okay.
But I'm over it. My husband doesn't get to be like, well, bitch, you kissing girls. Could you, you know what I mean? It's like, no, babe, I was drunk. She's like, I kissed a girl, whatever.
I agree with you, and I'm gonna keep it a whole stack right now. And this might not be popular amongst people, but there's a double standard, and we just need to accept that there's a double standard there. Okay, for women, it's a sexy thing. Men like to see it, and women like to see it, and women are this and that and that. You know, so it's seen in a different light. For a man,
Keep it going, y'all. I'm going to the bathroom.
if for a man, I mean, to take dick or to suck some, I need to know about that. Like, you need to inform me about that. And it's not necessarily about insecurities, but then again, let's keep it real. Men out here cheating all over the place with women. Who want to worry about, is he looking for women? Is he looking for men? Is he looking for...
But isn't cheating cheating?
Say it again?
Isn't cheating cheating? Like,
I didn't hear you, Miles. One more time.
isn't cheating cheating?
Okay,
You know what I mean?
cheating is cheating, but like if I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot if you have to contend with everybody in the
Well, you shouldn't have to compete with everyone because they're with you. You know, cheating's cheating. You know.
I do agree with you there. I think you're a little bit biased as far as like you need to ask them right away. You need to ask them because, like someone said, a person's only, like Cam said, a person's only going to tell you what they want to tell.
Right. I just feel like we should normalize asking.
Normalize. Okay. And, you know, some men don't even like to be approached with that, you know, like, you know, I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but like,
I feel like at this day and age, I mean, I feel like all of us are pretty well in our, you know, age or whatever. I feel like it should not, I feel like when you're a young kid, 18, 19, just now doing it, maybe you're not as comfortable to ask about, you know, sexual preference. I mean, not sexual preference, but, you know, status, going to the clinic, getting tested. But at the point that we are at, we definitely should be old enough to be able to have these conversations. We're well into our careers. We're well into establishing our lives. We're well into our identity. We know who we are at this point. There should not be no shame in nothing asking. I can see how you could be younger, 18, 19, and shy to be like, are you, you know, have you been tested? But how we are now, you got to protect yourself and you got to ask. I agree with Miles. Like, you definitely have to ask. I'm asking off rip. Like, when was the last time you got tested?
generation and all this stuff that's happening now and the forward moving, I think it will be smart to ask. I think it will be smart to ask. But no matter how much you ask, if that person, like you said, the whole point is, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. If that person don't feel comfortable putting it
that's
out on
pity stuff to me. I feel like at this age that we all are, you should more than feel
No,
comfortable.
I'm talking about the person that's going to disclose it to you. You can ask the question all you want. If
It's
that
not just about the person
doesn't
feeling
feel
comfortable.
comfortable with you, then they're not going to tell you. And then you can't blame it on them that you didn't feel comfortable telling them, because you're not going to know if a person's going to receive the information until you disclose it.
Right.
Everyone
So in that case, if a guy is not comfortable with disclosing, then the woman needs to know, or the man or whoever the other person needs to know that don't engage sexually with that person. If they're afraid to show you their status, if they're afraid to show you their results, then
they may not tell you the truth, sweetheart. They may
A
not
lot
tell
of
you the
men's
truth.
you have
workplace.
results.
A
You
lot of
show
men's
me the
workplace
results.
will not stand for that. Their workplace, their place of work, where they have their stability and their sense of identity. A lot of people's sense of identity comes from working. They won't stand for that. So it's not just about women. It's also about the world around us. So it's not women's fault. It's just the world we live in. You know.
So I
But he
want to
said
ask Miles.
specifically, the young man yesterday, he said, because women can't handle it. Women can't handle
Yeah.
the discussion. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Every woman is not the same. You don't know what
Even if
women
you can't handle it, that's your preference. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to handle it.
Exactly. So you should tell it. That's what I'm saying. You should disclose it. I think it's only fair that you disclose that to a person that you're seeing. It comes down to being truthful, being who you are, being respectful, just out of respect. Like I said, the cancer thing, you know, you don't have to tell someone that you had cancer 30 years ago, you know, but just out of respect for them and for what could come in the future, just you want to disclose that to them? I don't find it any different.
Because someone might not want to bring that back into their mindset. They probably put it behind them and it's behind them. They don't want to bring that back into their life like that. Maybe they won't get it
I
to
have
their
a
freaking
question.
70s.
I have a question for Miles. Because I think I missed the clip when you played the clip. So Miles, you said, oh, if it was behind him. I feel like that's just as far as that person knows, right? He don't know, or
Right.
I guess we're talking about men, right? Or not both of them.
Yes.
We're talking about both or just men?
Men.
Okay, so men, I feel like, okay, if you know it's behind you, you don't really know that till you're in a situation where you got to test if it's behind you or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like with the guy on like the interview, I saw the clip. Armon, did you play the clip that you sent me, or did you play something else?
Yeah, I played the full clip.
Okay, so that clip. Okay, so on that one, he has said He had said, what? Let me look at her name. Sophia.
Superfly.
I'm sorry. Superfly.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you said that he said something like, "Oh, women can't handle the truth."
The discussion. Yes.
And I agree with what you said as far as not all women are the same, but as far as just devil's advocate, I think I know what he meant. Like women, and if you're talking about generally what you usually experience is us overreacting or like, oh my gosh. So whatever that, oh my gosh,
action, said black women.
Okay, well, black women. So that's how he. I haven't been with black women.
But I disagree with that. Let's take the elephant out the room. The conversation is it's not really women can't handle it. It's black women.
That's what he said. Mm-hmm.
That's what he said.
And
Okay.
It's not all women. It's black women.
Okay, so black women. If black women are the ones that if we're the ones that can't handle it, I feel like that goes
Can
back
I speak
to
on
you
that?
as a person.
I really
Like, how do
wanna-
you know what she can handle and you can't say it? Like, you don't know what she can handle. And I feel like men be like, but I remember that time when you had reacted to example and just put an example there. Like, but that's not the same. Like I feel like men take everything that we react to in every other situation and apply it to the thing they scared to talk about. And that's still that person being deceitful at the end of the day.
Oh,
and
definitely.
selfish.
Let
At
me
the end
let
of
me
the day.
get Gracie in. Gracie, go ahead, and then JJ, you're next. So be ready.
right.
I don't know what you got.
Okay.
JJ. Okay.
Okay. I apologize. I'm at the end of my shift. I work from home, but I just really wanted to get in on this conversation as being a black woman. And I watch all y'all, Nick, Lovely, I'm sorry, not Lovely, Candace, everybody. I just watch everybody. I just love to watch YouTube. I got kids. I just watch YouTube. That's my TV. So anyway, I just really wanted, I've never entered a live, nothing. I just really wanted to say something about this being a black woman. And I'm saying this in front of somebody and everything. I'm like nervous. But me as a black woman, I've dated somebody. I dated outside of my race. And, you know, I'm an adventurous type of person. We used to do a lot of freaky things. You know what I mean? And we watch freaky porn together. We drink together, you know, and then we have some excitement. And at the time, you know, I started working at like a sex store. So I had, you know, dildos, lube, like everything. So we used to do a lot of stuff. So one day, I don't remember what we were talking about, but I don't know, we had some type of discussion. And I asked him, I said, well, you gonna let me fuck you?
Oh.
And he was like, yeah. I was like, you gonna pick it out? He was like, yeah. Like he was, and I'm a black girl. Like I'm like black, you know what I mean? But for me, I really think it depends on the person. Now, did I ever ask him, have you been with a man or anything like that? No. You know, we're dating, I care for this person. So we're doing things in the bedroom. I mean, licking ass, everything. You know what I mean? And I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Because this
Wait,
is
were you licking his behind? Were you licking his butt?
Baby, I said we did it all. Okay.
Oh wow.
So, and you know what I mean? And as far as me being a black woman, if I was to bring that up to a black nigga, he gonna be like, oh no, hell no, see all that shit crazy. I ain't with none of that shit. Which for me, it was an experience. It's not something that I'm necessarily into but you know, it was exciting.
Hold on. I feel like a lot of black men do that because they feel like you're testing them to see if they're with. So a lot of black men they gotta pass this test because women will try that to see if they're quote unquote gay, because there's a lot of niggas that like they booty ate and they nigga. But
and I've never done it to a black dude. I've never done it. Not saying that I would want to or anything like that. That was an experience. It was the moment. You know what I mean? I didn't really expect nothing doing. I was licking his balls and the nigga was pushing my head down. I'm like, wait a minute. What are you trying to do? My bad. I'm going there. I watch your show, but like I'm with all that. So, you know, I'm like, what are you trying to do? He pushing my head down. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see how he react, you know? So I did it, and he got like real excited. I mean, he wrapped his thighs around my neck. Like,
did you ever penetrate? Did you ever penetrate after you guys had that conversation?
I did.
And then what happened? And then
it was all exciting and everything. I feel like he treated me good. It was exciting. It was adventurous. I feel like it didn't work because of the race thing. You know, him being white, me being black. That was the first. You know, I like my own people. You know what I'm saying? But I like to try different things. I've been with a woman. You know, things like that. I like to try stuff. So I can't knock it till I try it. If I speak on the experience, I've probably been through it. You know what I mean? I
How
can
long
say,
ago
okay,
was
I've
this,
tried
and
that.
what is
That's not for
his
me.
status now?
Say again.
How long ago was this, and what is his status now?
Okay, so this was like probably in 2013, and this is what kind of messed me up a little bit. Is afterwards, you know, we broke up, things like that, whatever. I moved back home because I even moved in with him with my kids and everything. Like I didn't have to work, like it was cool. So years later, like time went by, and then we were just talking, having conversation. He was like, "Yeah, well, you know, I took my hormones today," and I was like, "I didn't say, I didn't look. So look, I didn't say, look, hold on,
Exactly.
hold on. So I didn't initially say nothing about it when he said it, because we were just talking like casual conversation, and when he said it, I didn't really address it. I didn't say much. So then later I came back to it and I was like, wait a minute, you said you were taking hormones? Like, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? And he was like, well, you know, I'm transitioning to be a woman. And I was like, I'm like, well, why you didn't tell me about it? He was like, well, I'm telling you now. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, so then I'm like, well, you know, it was hard to kind of have the conversation. I didn't know how to have it, but I felt like, so are you into men? Like you want to be a woman? Like he had a good size penis. He was a handsome, you know what I'm saying, white dude, very financially stable.
Once
You
they
know what I'm
start
saying, did
taking hormones, the
contracting.
penis will no longer be that effective. I have a trans friend who takes hormones, and the penis will not get hard anymore, and it won't be able to work for you. Tracy.
Well, now he doesn't have a penis. He has boobs, and he's done porn and all kinds of different things.
Wow. Okay.
But that was just my experience. I just wanted to give y'all that.
Oh, that was some good shit. Hold on, stay there. Okay, Nico.
Okay, but I'm gonna mute because I'm gonna finish on my 15-minute shift. Okay.
Okay. All right, come back when you're done. That was some tea, girl. Yes. Okay. So let's drop her. Okay, Superfly, and then Nico. I hope I said that right. And then we're gonna keep it going. All right. Boom.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to, in the Tracy story, did I miss that? Was it the same guy that she was penetrating that turned up that he was taking hormones? Or is that two different people?
Yeah, it's the same person.
She helped him. She helped him discover himself.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
That's what I'm talking about. She talking about after all this time, she been with somebody that's transitioning, and they didn't tell them from jump. Like,
I feel like trans is a little harder to detect in oneself.
Yeah, trans is a whole
layers. I thought I was trans at one point, but I realized I wasn't. I was like, I love being a male too. I love my male body. I love that,
Okay,
but,
see, I feel like that's unacceptable. I feel like that's just something that should have been told out the gate.
But I think that one's harder to detect. That's another separate thing.
Okay, but she also, like I said, she was quite blind because
she was the right one for him.
Doing all of that, I was pretty much made the assumption that he wanted some dick. Yeah.
I want to hear from Nico.
Okay, go ahead, Nico.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, go ahead.
A little muffled.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's good. I just wanted to hit on two topics, which hi Armon, hi Nika and Night, hi everybody.
Hey.
I enjoy your content. I just wanted to say that to answer the question of the title, I do think that you should tell your partner if you slept with someone of the same sex, only if they ask you the question. I don't feel like you have to come right out and be like, oh, hey, guess what, Neek? I've been with guys. You know what I'm saying? I think that if Neek wants to ask me, she has the right to ask me, and I should be truthful with the question, because she should have a right to say, you know what, I'm not really into that, but I also want to segue that one into language and how people carry themselves, right? When we talk about preference, it's okay if you prefer not to be with someone who's been with someone of the same sex, but I think we should just be mindful and careful of the language in which we choose to respond to it. Because in the comment section, I've seen a lot of people saying how it was disgusting and that's gross and that's nasty and that's not okay. And I think that language is hurtful. And I think that that deters a lot of men from wanting to be open about their experiences when the world is telling them that it's gross. If we can just be a little bit more careful about how we choose to respond, then I think we may see a better, maybe people becoming more honest about their past and not feeling shameful about it. That's what I want to say.
And I agree.
In the middle.
Yeah.
I agree with that because here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Because here's the thing. Whether you like it or not, a man is going to be whatever he's going to be, and his past is going to be his past. But like he said, if people are, were a little bit more respectful in their responses, maybe you'd actually get the truth out of them. Because he's still, if the nigga's going to be straight with a gay past, he's going to be straight with a gay past, with or without you. But if society has beat him down into this like shell of like, I don't even want to come out and say anything about my past because I know that was in the past, I don't want to deal with that anymore. So I'm going to continue on and keep dealing with my chicks in the way that I've been doing, because the minute I say I mess with a guy, I'm going to be beat over the head because that's what people do. And if people wouldn't react that way, they wouldn't, more people would be more open about being like, hey, you know what? I had that experience, but bro, you may not want to deal with me no more, but I did that shit. I'm over it. But if it's like, oh, you go ahead.
But when does the person take accountability for being themselves? They need to be themselves. It's not about how whoever reacts, because the world is still adjusting. Some of us are still adjusting to the new change or whatever.
Okay, well, let's talk about it.
Because I am myself. I'm sorry, I am myself. When we go on a date and I meet you, I am me. And there's nothing changed. It's not until you ask me that question that your views on me start to change. But I was me from the moment we started talking up until that point when you asked me, have you been with other men? And I say yes. Then the whole perception of me is then warped into something that maybe it wasn't.
And maybe I've probably been with other women who that wasn't a problem for. So I don't lead with telling them that I've been with men, because maybe I've been with different women, or different races or whatever, and they've not cared when it finally came out. So I'm not even really thinking that I even have to lead with that. Like, what makes me feel like that I need to lead with that? I mean, I know that I'm not gay anymore. I don't have any diseases. I'm not sleeping with men. So why do I need to tell you that? I'm not even thinking that. I'm thinking about where we eating. Are we chilling? You know what I mean? How do I know that I need to tell you up front that I had a male experience umpteen years ago?
So do you think that many men are really being delivered, Armon? Do you think that they're really tapping? Because I feel like as a woman, so the sex that I had when I was in my early 20s is not the sex that I'm having in my 30s. Like, once you tap different levels of freak, it's hard to go back. Like, once a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, once I've done certain things sexually, it's hard for me to go back. Like, I can't just you can't just lick my cooch like stick it. You gotta, it's certain things that you gotta do. So once you tap into certain things, and the things that I've tapped into sexually at my age now, I can't go back to that. So do you really think that many men are just being delivered?
It doesn't.
Go ahead, Miles.
We got to realize that not only is it the person they're scared of telling, or the significant other, it's the world around us. So we have to meet each other in the middle. Yes, they should be honest. Of course, they shouldn't be deceitful. That's wrong. But we also got to keep in mind why it is so hard for these men to come out the closet. If a down low guy ever approaches me, I don't shame them. I'm not like, oh, you're not taking me out. Oh, fuck you then. Oh,
it's all good. You good. We didn't settle now.
Okay, you then. I understand the world we live in. It's not accepting to these men in their places of work and stability. Their whole lives can change if they come out the closet. So I think we just have to meet each other in the middle.
But this is someone you're.
So do you think that many men have been delivered once they've tapped into that sexual realm? Do you think that it's that many men who are now, once I have experimented this far, now I'm just no longer there anymore?
Well, no, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I feel like if a nigga is doing shit like that in his 20s and now that he's 30, he's bisexual. But I'm thinking like, I know some guys in high school that was with the shits, but they're not gay. Like, I literally don't think that they're gay. But and they got kids and baby moms. And here's the thing. I just got last week, my barber, this is a funny story, quick story. My barber came over, cut my hair. We're talking. He started telling me about this female that he was dating. She ended up passing away. He's 50 years old. He ended up marrying this other woman. But long story short, I ended up finding out that he ended up having a past with the man. However, he did not tell his wife because he doesn't feel like it's necessary to tell his wife that he had, wild, crazy, kinky sex before that they got married, 2 years ago. He's 50 years old. You know what I'm saying? And she probably feels like he might feel like she might leave him. So I don't know, but people are doing it and they're not saying anything.
If you can't see yourself romantically involved with the person, say you can be with men sexually, but you can't be with them in a relationship, I don't feel like you're gay. I feel like you're just having fun living life, being an animal, being a human being. I feel like if you can't be with them romantically, it shouldn't be no need to talk about. But if you feel like you can be with them romantically, then I feel like, yeah, maybe you are gay. But that's just my view of it.
Okay, let's hear some other people. Is Tamika, JJ, Love Me? Come on, is anybody on here?
Yeah, I'm on here.
Hi, okay, everybody here. Okay, let's start with Tamika first, then we go JJ, then we go Love Me.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, love you, Armon. My daughter hooked me up and told me about your webpage. Love you to death. Nick and Knight, all you guys, love you all. Okay, so I really have mixed feelings about this because I'm trying to keep an open mind. I have a lot of people in my family that are gay and or bisexual. And I know a lot of my friends have tried things. So I find it, like I told my husband, which I think is a complete homophobe, I've told him already, like, he got upset because he was a huge cheater in his first marriage. He felt it was very unfair that I knew everything that he did in his past and he knew nothing about me. Okay, so to me, to him that bothered him. So like I told him, what is the difference in if I slept with a woman and you slept with a man? And he said, well, it's a huge difference. Well, to me, no, it's not. And I'm trying to make sure I understand that because I have a daughter that's in college. Her friends have had different experiences. They're around me. They look at me as a mother figure. And so I have to be very understanding. And I don't feel like it is a serious contradiction because, like you all have said earlier, it's okay for a woman to experiment it and then come back and say, oh no, well, that person's not gay. But then my husband will say, well, if a man does, if he deals, he plays. He's older than me, obviously. And he says, well, if he deals, he plays. And I'm like, well, I really don't understand that, nor do I really think that I agree with that. Because like you all, I believe that a person can experience things younger in life and then later on that not necessarily be who they are. I mean, me, I'm out there, you know what I'm saying? I'm very sexual, you know what I'm saying? So I've tried a whole lot of different things, but I have never been with a woman, but I've still tried a whole lot of different things. But just because I know things about him and his past and what he's done, I wouldn't dare tell him half the shit I did. Excuse me, half the stuff I did. Because it would give a different outlook. And to me, a lot of men have a different outlook on women. When you tell them what you've done, they are not easily accepting it. And also, when certain men, you come to them and you ask them that question, they're not really that inviting to that question.
Yeah, because to me, that's just like, I mean, a man telling you that he's probably slept with a man in the past is the equivalent of, to me, in my mind, my nigga telling me that he's had, 10 nigga train ran on him and everybody dumped on him, or you've been ran down by a whole basketball team in Vegas somewhere after an award show by a bunch of rappers. You know what I mean? Like, how would a man feel about that? You probably are not going to tell him that unless
exactly. So I feel like that's basically Tamika being a person who feels like, well, I have secrets and I don't want you to know my secrets, so it's fine for you to not to tell yours. Now, if a person doesn't have all those deep secrets, they're not gonna feel the same way because I don't feel like that at all.
A
woman tell a man that she's been ran through.
It's not about and I love you too. It's not really about me having secrets. It's the women, me and him actually worked at the same place. So it was a lot of women when he got divorced from his first wife that, came out when he got divorced, and I guess they thought, they
was gonna break up y'all relationship by telling you the tea.
Right, about what he did in his past. And I was much younger than all of them because he's 15 years my senior. So, but he felt it was very unfair that I got to know he had cheated on his previous wife, that he had all these extramarital affairs and all this other stuff. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, hey, based on the person I am, I made a little first. Because if I tell you what I gave him a pass. Because you really don't want to know.
So basically, but yeah, see, that was you guys made a perfect match
with another woman.
But that's why you guys made a perfect match. You had a past and he had a past, so it worked out. And so, you know, with another woman who didn't have such an extensive or whatever you did or whatever, they probably wouldn't have been so accepting. I feel like, you know, because his character as how he treated his previous wife, I feel like that does matter in his next relationship. If he used to beat his ex-wife behind, that matters going into another relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a matter of domestic violence. But however,
same thing.
It was totally different as far as me and him were concerned. However, because of the fact that I realized why he was doing what he was, because you had to know her to understand. And yeah, I can understand why he was out there and he was in the streets. And me, I'm not perfect. So to me, it's like, who can judge? You know, I have a daughter that, you know, has had college experiences. But she's not gay. But she also has a best friend that is. I have a sister that's bisexual. So when you get to looking at the different aspects of things, it's just like, I love these people, so I can't really judge them, nor do I really care, because it's really none of my business. And again, most Black men, because I've never dated outside of my race, you can't really come to them and go, you ever had sex with a man? And they take that okay. Some will, some won't. So then it becomes that aspect of the thing. So like my husband told me, whatever you did before me, I put the ring on your finger, I don't even want to know about. I know a lot of things that he's done, but I would never tell him anything about me because I probably wouldn't have that ring on my finger. You see what I'm saying? So it becomes a catch-22, and I think that a lot of women we contradict ourselves, and we're okay with things that women do, but we're not okay with things that men do. And trying to understand the LGBTQ community, which is what I'm trying to do to, you know, help, because your kids, your grandkids could end up in that community. You have to be more understanding and open to different things. And I really don't think in this day and age, we should be so closed-minded.
They don't have to, but they should, you know? It is what it is.
All right, JJ, let's get it on. What you got, JJ?
Hey, Armon, I'm so sorry about all that. How you doing, Miles and Neek? I love you. Hey, everybody. I definitely agree with Daytime Tea Time on what she said about it's a timing. Now, I get what Neek is saying, but it's a timing far as when you disclose all that information. If you know you're just dating a person and it's casual and it's not gotten to the point where you're like, I can see myself with this person, they don't need to know any of that. They don't need to know your secrets. Like you don't give that to everybody. That's how gossip gets out there. They don't need to know that. But if once you get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm locking in, I can see myself. That's when, like what Neek was saying, I feel like that conversation should be had. And that might be after a couple of dates, maybe 5 or 6 or so. And, you know, and then that conversation should be had. I'm a heterosexual woman. I'm a Christian woman. And now people probably will be surprised, but I definitely would not be opposed to dealing with someone who's had that past.
Okay.
If that is something that they have transitioned from.
Right, because isn't that preach? Like, come transition, you know.
Fact.
Well, JJ, my thing is this real quick. What's the difference in knowing that the man has had multiple female partners and could potentially cheat, or is a chronic cheater and could step out on you with a woman versus a man? That's the part that I'm confused on.
There is no difference.
Because to me, if a man's gonna lie to you, he's gonna lie to you. It's even if I asked him, he still may not tell me the truth either way, man or woman.
That's true. And I think, Miles, you said that earlier, like it doesn't matter really if it's like, I think it was one woman who was like, I'm in competition with everybody. It really doesn't matter at that point, because it's about trust. It's about if you're going to proceed with this person, you shouldn't be proceeding with the person you don't trust. And that's number one. Now, me, I'm different, Tamika. I wouldn't have proceeded without asking questions and wanting to know certain things about my soon to be husband. I want to know, and I'm going to let you know. Now, everybody moves differently, but that's me. Now, I don't expect you to tell me everything initially, but once we get to the point where the love is coming in, and before the I love yous or the I love yous just happen, that stuff you need to go ahead and, because you got to think about it. There's people from the past or your past that you might run into and decide to spill that tea, and now I'm going to think you're a liar.
Well, no.
And I don't want to think that.
No.
So I'd rather know.
Right. And I get that. But my husband's thing was that I knew way more, just because, like, again, we worked together and he had a bunch of experiences there, that I got privy to way more information than he had about me, which, made me think that he wanted more information about me. But you guys must say I didn't. I'm not giving up nothing. That's just me. But because men are more critical of women. You know what I'm saying? If we do the same thing a man does, we're the S word or the H word or the B word, or you know what I'm saying, and we're out there. You know what I'm saying? To where it's not looked at the same from a man's perspective. So I cannot really be honest enough to.
Okay, Tamika, your stuff keep breaking up.
Yeah,
Love me. You next. Let's go.
Hi, Armon.
Hey, what's
Hi,
going
Armon.
on?
Hi, Neek. Hi, panel.
Hey.
Okay, so I'm with Neek on this one. I feel like a person should be straight up. Whether you're straight, bi, gay, inquisitive, whatever it is, you should be straight up. Before there is any type of entanglement, you need to let that person know, because women get feelings for people. And especially once you have entered into a sexual connection, your feelings go on a completely different level. So before it even gets to that point, a person should be upfront. And I think the people that's hiding that are insecure with themselves, because you're scared to tell a woman that you have had sexual experiences with another man, because you're afraid of how she may feel. But you're not thinking about, how when she finds out later, how that would affect her, because you're not giving her a choice.
Let me ask you this. Let's make it hot.
Or not.
Okay, now what? Because I have to bring it here. We have to address the elephant in the room. It's the idea of this is Black women. So why do you feel like Black women get this rep of being kind of closed-minded when it comes to the idea of sexuality and open-mindedness? Because that is specifically what the guy said, and that seems to be the going term, that it's not all women. It's specifically Black women seem to be the ones that are like, I'm done. I don't want to be with you if you've had this experience.
But it's not all men who are down low. It's not all Black men. I mean, it's not all men who are down low. It's mainly Black men. So it's a cycle. We have to meet each other in the middle.
I agree.
Okay,
it's
so
both of
if
us.
we're going based off of Jason Lee's interview, the guy stated that he had experiences with men beforehand. And then he basically made the woman feel low. She's just my baby mom. She didn't need to know. Why would you just say, oh, she's just my baby mom? She didn't need to know that I had, situations with men in the past. But this particular situation with Jeffree Star is my real male experience. That's more of the reason for her to know. Because, based on your conversation and a dialogue you all have been having is, okay, say for instance, that man had that experience way back in his past. Do you feel like he should have to tell her? Well, this man had this experience, but it has essentially been a continuous experience. But he feels like there's no need to tell her. And the only reason why he's speaking out is because he has been exposed publicly, but he has been down low doing that behind her back for however long and however other many girlfriends he has had. And that is the problem. So he's not inquisitive, he's bisexual.
The problem is the cheating, really. It's the cheating. I mean, because people cheat, all people. I mean,
well, he was actually saying, from what I got, but I think he's just a liar in general. But he was basically saying, if we're talking about the interview, he was saying that they were never in a relationship. They just smashed and she got a baby. And he would smash her from time to time, but they were never in a relationship. Then so he was doing his thing, and he had messed around with guys, and he didn't tell her because she wouldn't be able to handle it. And she would be upset. Like now, she's not even in the country because she can't even fathom the fact that her baby father messes around with guys. But he don't want to be with her. And from the interview, the only thing I did believe in his interview is that he did not like that woman. She got on his damn nerve.
But to think about it, Armon, that means he's been misleading her, because they were in a relationship and she identified him based on a post that was posted on the Shade Room based on his tattoos. That's how he was discovered as being this particular individual. But he had been down low, but he had been still smashing her, making her think that he loved her and making her think something. Because we can just be honest, right? Men will make it seem like it's nothing, but to the woman that they're messing with, they make it seem like it's everything. I love you. I want to be with you. You're the only person I want to be with. When low key, they may be feeling a different type of way. You understand what I'm saying? So he was leading her on, making her think that, because she's not going to act crazy like that the way she was acting had they not been engaging into those I love you, I miss you, you my baby, you my girl type of conversations. For her to leave and go to a whole nother country.
Tiffany, what you got, Tiffany?
I just want to piggyback on what Neek said as far as like, tell me first. I need to know your background, your criminal history, if you got kids, and who you messed with in the past, because not for nothing, a lot of these Black men have been incarcerated at some point in time. And I have 2 family members who had baby fathers who were incarcerated and had relations while in jail. One found out, the other one didn't. Once they broke up, they threw it in their face. So I see why people don't want to be forthcoming about their past or whatever they've done, because then they turn around and want to use it in their face, even if they're not together, and try and out them or shame them. And that's where I'm just like, it becomes a little gray in between there.
Brianna.
Hi, panel. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say was I just feel like women need to help men feel more comfortable with being able to come out and be open with something so sensitive like that. It's natural that they're going to feel that they may be attacked. And a lot of women do it. And so that's the reason why we're dealing with so many down low men, and they're afraid of responses.
So are you accepting to that, Brianna?
Am I accepting? I'm understanding of.
So
it's not even
would you
about.
date a guy who has been with another guy?
Yeah, I probably would.
Okay, so I'm gonna just make this last point, and then I'm gonna make room for other people. So the length of time that I've been on this show, there has been several women. There has been more women who say that they will mess with a guy who's down low versus women who are saying that they are opposed to it. So what you prove is that there is no reason why a guy should still be lying, because just because I myself wouldn't deal with it, or Tiffany wouldn't deal with it, you will deal with it, JJ would deal with it, the other girl would deal with it. And Love Me wouldn't deal with it, but there are several other women who will. So this just proves the point that there's no reason to lie.
But there's several other aspects other than the significant other that matter.
Like what?
Like their place of work. A lot of.
What's the several aspects?
Well, a big one, it doesn't have to be several, but a big one is their place of business, their place of work. The fear of, what if this got out at my place of work? My sense of stability, my being a man, I can't do that anymore. A lot of workplaces will not accept that. Not everyone's an entrepreneur, their own boss. Like some people work for corporations and things like that. That's
when it
what I
comes
think.
to work, I don't feel like that's like the business of work. I feel like that's the business of who you're sexually engaging with. And I feel like this chat has proven that there is women who will deal with it and there's women who won't. I feel like when you're dating, you have to weed out the people who are good for you and who are not. When I'm dating, I vet people, I ask questions, I weed out the people who are bums, I weed out the people who have no ambition, I weed out the guys who are deadbeat dads, I weed out those things. And so I feel like the guys who are into both and they should weed out the women who are not into that so that they don't have problems later. They should go after the women who are accepting and go after the women who agree, because there are several women who do, and this chat proves it. I feel like this proves it. But I want to make room for other people to come on. Thank you for having me, Armon. Thank you for the panel.
Thank you.
Right.
Go ahead, Corey.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I can't hear you. You got to unmute. Let me see. Unmute your mic.
Let me see.
Okay, I can hear you
Do you
now.
hear me
Go
now?
ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say this, that black men, period, in this situation are humbled by this. Because I mean, Armand, I love your show. I love everybody's show, just so y'all know. I watch y'all a lot. Y'all are really cool. But black men, when I look at this, it's a lot stemming from the black family. And, you know, we keep quiet about our relationships. And Miles, I appreciate you trying to be like the loving and like the person, but black men aren't going to be forthcoming in regards to, you know, who I slept with or who I've been with, because it's just not how I see it, or in my, you know, how I look at it. I'm a gay man. Yes, I get it. But I don't want to know. I don't even sleep with bisexual men. I don't mess with them. I don't want none of that, because there's too many problems. Because secrets, you know, your baby mama is now upset because, you know, somebody laying you pipe. So I try to leave that alone. So that's just my intake on it. That's just my intake on it. So I was just bringing that. I'm sorry. All right, bye, y'all.
So people want to say, I'm seeing a lot of questions. They're saying the black family. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the black family piece?
Well, I'm saying like the fathers of, you know, fathers always keep secrets. Well, you know, men have always kept secrets, and then bringing that forward, and like when I'm saying, you don't ask, don't tell. So, you know, like if women are being in relationships and they're having these situations with people, and they're enjoying the, you know, like, hey, no one's ever bring it up front, but a black man is not going to just bring it out like, hey, yeah, look, I've slept with this person, I slept with this person. That just doesn't happen. At least I've never seen it happen. So that's
okay.
Just me. So
all right, Barry White, let's keep it going. We got a lot. Thank you. Oh shit. Go ahead, Love. Did somebody else have something to say? Go ahead. We got a lot of people trying to get.
So here's the issue with that, right? Because I think Tamika was on before when she was saying, why is it so socially accepted for women to have, you know, interactions with other women versus men on men? Here's the reason why. Because men made it socially acceptable. Men have rooted women, you know, have pretty much cheered around women engaging into sexual acts with other women to where they want to have threesomes and stuff like that. That is something that men, you know, gathered around and rooted on and cheered on. Now, that was men's choice. If a woman do not want to, you know, get behind a man engaging into acts with another man, that is the woman's choice. But don't get mad at the woman because men accept women having, you know, interactions with other women, but women do not feel the same. Some women do not feel the same. That's the difference. Men rooted that on.
Okay,
but you have women that they don't feel okay with that.
Barry. Okay.
I mean, I think you got women rooting on men, on other men too. You just had a woman on here earlier who said, man, sleep with another woman, and she's like, okay, well, if you want me to eat some cooch, you gotta suck a little bird. So I mean, it depends on the individual, and like just addressing the fact that question.
Okay, it's breaking up terribly. I don't know if this is us. I don't know if the stream is getting bad, but that was horrible. Queen Leah.
Hey, Armon. Can you hear me,
Hey, what's going on? Yes, I can hear you.
You know, I've been I've been trying to get up in this conversation. You know, my Wi-Fi is acting stupid today, honey. But you know,
Yes.
I like to say this. I hear a lot of women coming on talking about how like the men should tell them and the men should do this, but I haven't heard a lot of conversation from the women about expanding their mind. And it's very crazy to hear a lot of Black women sit here and act like they didn't grow up in Black homes and that they were not instilled with toxic views of what masculinity is. Because that's what this all really comes down to. Like when the girls are like, oh no, honey, I can't do him because he's been with a man. It's because a lot of Black women were instilled with this ideals of this is what a man is. If he treats you like this, if he says this, if he slap you around, if he do this, oh, he's a real man. He's this. And I think it's a key to me that a lot of these women are saying that, oh no, I can't do it whatsoever. I also want to make this clear. First of all, we have got to stop making trans women the fall people on this conversation because they're not even. I've heard so many conversations of women come on talking about like, oh, my man was with a trans and I found out later. Like, first of all, that's a whole total different conversation.
Totally
Let's be
different
clear on that. You know, and so I find that very interesting.
Anybody want to respond?
Okay. I want to chime in.
So I'm going to respond to that. I think that is based on what you like. Just because I'm not open-minded to having a relationship with a guy that has been with another guy, that doesn't mean that I need to be more open-minded. What you like is what you like. What I like is what I like. I can't force anything down your throat. You can't force anything down my throat. I want a man that only wants a woman. If you do like men, I want you to tell me. And when people go to this whole being insecure, women already like if you're dating a man and he's supposed to be a straight man and he only likes women, right? So you know that man may potentially like other women. He might cheat on you with other women. But if you have a man that is supposed to be straight and he's also messing with other men, you need to know that because you need to know, okay, well, you like men, you like women, okay. So then you like both sides. So now I'm looking both ways. You know, it has to be something that you have to feel comfortable with divulging because it's not fair to the individual. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who's got the
I'm
dog?
just saying, when the insecurity, what the insecurity part means when people say, oh, they're insecure. I think the insecurity part comes from them saying, like, look, I told you. Like, first of all, we're sitting here acting like that we're dating multiple people at a time. We're talking monogamous relationships. So let's just say you are heterosexual and you're into women. If you're in a monogamous relationship, you're not dating several different women. Bi people, just because somebody's bi, it doesn't mean that they're going to cheat on you with a man or anything. If they're going to cheat, they're going to cheat, period. That's where the insecurity comes from. Oh, well, he's been with a man. I could never please him that way, but he's with you. And you're stressing about his past. That shows that you are insecure. In your womanhood, like it doesn't mean anything on him because he told you and you chose to be insecure.
Well, I disagree because we're talking, what you're just stating is right now, you're saying he told you. But the conversation is he supposed to tell you? And I said, yes, he's supposed to tell you to give you that choice on whether you want to continue to date him or not. That is your choice. That doesn't mean that I'm insecure if I choose not to want to date a man that has been with another man. But at least give me that option to decide what I want to do.
Okay. So Superfly.
That's what I'm saying. You can find a woman that is open.
Thank you for taking me on again, Armon, because just two last things. I know initially when we started the call, I had mixed feelings about your question on should you rehash that stuff from your past, but I'm solid now. I feel like if it was 30 years ago, your childhood or whatever, and you experienced something and it's no longer who you are today, I mean, completely gone, not your flip-flopping and uncertain, but it's completely gone and you're not gay, then you don't need to bring it up. I mean, it's fair to leave things in your past. That's not who you are today. Because I had to think about that. There's things that I've done in my past. That is not who I am today at all. I wouldn't go back to those things or do any of that. So I didn't tell my partner and I wouldn't. It's not needed. I had to really give that some thought. So now that I'm clear on that, nah. If it was that, even though I would really want to know, no. you don't have to tell the person.
You don't have to tell.
Nah, you don't have to tell. But if it's someone you're building a life with and you're growing with and you are moving forward, out of respect and honesty, you should disclose who you are, no matter how comfortable.
How active.
No
how
matter
active is the bisexuality?
No matter how they react. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you owe that to yourself. You owe that to them to be yourself and say what it is. And if they don't accept it, move on. That means they're not with it. So that's kind of where I am on that. And let me just last thing, that one young lady said she made the guy feel comfortable. She was like, yeah, you can tell me it's cool. I've been with bisexual. I've done this. He still lied. That was my point. Like, if
because she's not the only factor.
If the person's not comfortable, they gonna still lie, even if you tried to make them feel comfortable. She did everything and then found out he was sleeping with the deacon.
But she isn't the only factor. It's not just about her.
What do you mean?
It's about these men's whole world, their whole being, who they are. Like, some of these men are involved in certain activities,
Yeah, why are
sports,
we
with friend circles. Like, it's not just about women.
That's not the woman's fault. You can't keep putting that.
It's not, but we have to meet in the middle. We got to see what we're dealing with here and how we can work with each other. It's not right.
Well, what are your thoughts on her making for him feel comfortable and he still lies?
I think that's wrong, and he is deceitful for still lying. But we also still have to acknowledge the reasons why people do things, so we understand how they're thinking.
I mean, I acknowledge that. That's the same why people lie. Like, when people do things and they lie, it's because they don't.
But your whole life changes. People don't know what it's like. I truly don't know what it's like because I knew myself. But,
so I can understand the burden. I understand the burden of what they're dealing with. But at the same time, if you want to live your truth and be yourself and move forward in a relationship, you got to be willing to be yourself, shed that fear, and tell that person and give them the choice. That's just my perspective. So, Armon, I'll let other people get in. Thank you so much.
We're about to wrap up. Thank you so much. Lisa, go ahead.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.
That's easier said than done.
Somebody's echoing.
Hi, everybody. I'm not the one with the echo, right?
No.
Okay. So, hi, everybody. Hi, Armon. I love you. I just want to say, that a person is not going to reveal certain things to you unless they feel comfortable revealing those. You understand what I'm saying? And as far as Black women are concerned, I think Black women need to explore their sexuality a little more, especially Black women who are over the age of, I would say, 35. Because because anyone who's over the age of 35, we grew up in a different type of era. You understand what I'm saying? Like, right now, if I was to tell, my sister who's a little bit older than me, in her late 40s, like, oh yeah, I let my man, fuck me in my ass, I like to lick his nuts, and I play with the boobs, I do all that. And she would look at me like I was crazy. You understand what I'm saying? She's like, oh, you're nasty. You understand what I'm saying, Armon? It's the truth. Am I lying?
No, it's very much so the truth.
Yeah, so, and I think that Adrian over 35, because I was watching, and the woman, I don't really remember her name. It sounds like Sophia, it looks like Sylvia. When certain comments were made, you could just see the facial expressions that she started making. And that is just a telltale sign when a person's feels like certain things are nasty when it comes to sexuality, okay? So my point in saying this is Black women would be more understanding and Black men would be more open if we would just leave the old ways behind, because we have to evolve as people. Black people are going through a huge transition right now in all facets of the world. You understand what I'm saying, Armon? And y'all are having this conversation, obviously, because these are the things that are coming out on social media and publicly and in the media, period. There are a lot of down low men. That's why that phrase even exists. You understand what I'm saying? Because this has been an ongoing issue for a long time. A lot of Black men are down low also because of mass incarceration. A lot of Black men have been exposed to an environment where there are only men around, and we all know how sexual men are. We all know that there's a difference between a woman's libido, a woman's sex drive, and a man's libido and a man's sex drive. And I have plenty of gay friends, and I watch porn. Now, if you go look at gay porn is way more aggressive and rough than heterosexual porn. And at the end of the day, that's because that's how men like to have sex. They like to have sex very aggressively. My man likes when I smack him in the face and I choke him and I grab him. They like that. Men are rough. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of Black women, I mean, they just need to explore their sexuality a little bit more, because Black women, you need to get with it. That's why I've even heard Black men say that's why they like to have sex with white women, because white women are more sexually I guess adventurous, for a lack of better words. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of Black women just need to, like, I have a lot of Black female friends who don't even orgasm, who don't even know how to make themselves orgasm. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they don't even know how to play with themselves and make themselves orgasm. So listen, I don't have those problems. I never did. I feel for any woman, Black or white, who cannot have orgasms. And I think that's a huge issue too. Like, if you're the type of woman who doesn't have orgasms, you don't have multiple orgasms when you have sex, that's sad to me, because like, you really need to learn to explore yourself. And if you are a woman in your 30s and you've never had an orgasm in your life, like, you can't be like, oh, it's the man. Is that, no, sis, it's you.
Okay, and you said a mouthful. You said a mouthful. Let's do it. And you were, somebody was echoing.
Okay, so I've been waiting to say what I got to say on this topic. Hey, Miles. Hey, Armon. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Okay, so I've written a book. I've written 2 books actually on this subject. And so my thing with it is that, like, what about the exposure piece? So we can sit here and we can talk about, yeah, I can choose not to tell and all this other extra stuff. But let's say that this man decides to not say anything to the person that he's with, and then he bumps into one of the people that he used to sleep with from back in the day. What do we do then?
Let's hope that person's respectful enough to not say anything.
But see, the key is, Miles, like, let's hope. And then what if that person isn't respectful? And then now we have to try to correct the truth when we could have just told the truth in the first place. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that for people that are comfortable with their sexuality, I mean, obviously you, myself, it's easy, but at the same time, if you're going to engage in that kind of behavior, then you need to go ahead and just be honest about it. Now, if it's a one-night stand or something like that, then whatever. You know,
how active is the bisexuality?
Yeah, how active? Because we're talking about, listen, maybe you tried something once, twice. It wasn't for you.
Once a year you do it.
Maybe you were the college experience.
I mean, but once a year, that's a pattern, though. That becomes a pattern. Now it's
once a year.
You're not dating them.
You're
not in love with them. So is the same thing? Is hooking up is the same thing as being in love? You're not dating these people.
Well, I feel like if you're doing it once a year, then you definitely need to say
that's a pattern. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a pattern.
Politicians do it.
So
if you're sleeping with a man, then you are definitely bi, queer, pan, something. You're definitely not 100% straight.
Right.
I say once a year because it's not a need to, like, oh, I gotta have this every 3 days, like how people make it seem. They're going to cheat on me with a man.
But I'm thinking, like, if you were in college, right, and you messed around with a guy and then you graduate with, but you've never messed around with a guy after that.
Right.
You didn't tell your girlfriend or your wife that, hey, in college, it was crazy, man. I fucked a guy.
I would rather be with some guy who experimented in college and found out that this is what he really liked, as opposed to being with some man who didn't and that's still on the down low.
Right. I feel like if you're trying to engage in a committed relationship and you know that you've done a couple of things that are related to the, like, same sex or whatever, you should just be honest, because if that person is the person you're going to end up with that you love, then they need to accept all of you. Now, if it's a one-time experience from back in the day, then okay, cool. But if you're trying to, like, really establish a relationship, they're hiding something like that, like, people can expose you, People can expose you, and then if that person tells your truth, you've lost all your power. You might as well just be honest, own up to it, so you have the chance to tell your truth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying.
Terrible, because the fact that you can be exposed for that's not. That's
so
why they
can I ask a question?
Are you talking to me?
Go for it. Whoever wants to go for it, go for it.
What about all the men? What about all the gay men who specifically target straight acting men? Like, in the gay community, that has been a really big thing. Oh, I want a man who's the trade. I want a man who's straight. I want a man who presents himself like this specific way. Like, I heard Armon mention earlier saying that he don't want to be with a man that slept with a trans. But, like, I mean, not every trans attracted man is gay. Not every trans attracted man is a bottom. So we need to stop pushing that narrative. There are men who are out there sleeping with the boys and sleeping with the girls. But it's like been this big thing in the gay community for the masculinity push, for the DL thug push. But now we're saying, oh, we want the man to be out. I feel like these are very contradicting statements from what's pushed out there in the community itself.
I mean, in the most plainest of terms, like it takes two to fuck, obviously. So this gay man can plot. I mean, and that right there also is a stigma because not all gay men do that. You know what I'm saying? Like not every man does that. Not every gay man does that. But if they were to do that, if they were to plot and scheme on a straight man or on the trade, it's up to the trade whether or not they're going to take that. So it takes two to engage in that kind of situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, and when it comes to the trans piece for me, yes, I'm not really. I don't want to know if you've messed around with that. Now, for me, there is the stigma, and it just is what it is. A lot of men that I know that like trans, they don't like boys like me, so they're always chasing different trans girls, and I cannot. I'm not a girl. So I can't live up to the aesthetic of a transgender woman. So if that's what you like, I'm not trans. So eventually I'm not going to, in my mind, I'm not going to be able to, fulfill you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you're actively into that. Now, if you've done it
this sounds just like what the women are saying about men, though. This sounds just like what they're saying.
No, it literally is. But I'm saying if they have done it in the past, I don't care. Like if my boyfriend now has slept with a trans and let a trans top him, I don't want to know. I don't care. You don't have to tell me that.
But if it's a yearly thing, or every time you get to your birthday and you start then that becomes a pattern.
But if you know what? You went to Atlanta Pride and they had a whole situation. I don't give a fuck. Don't tell me. Not that we 4 years in, 2 years, I don't care. That's the past because I'm with you. So I know that's not, you're not into that. I'm not even seeing signs of you being into that.
Right.
Now if he decided to tell me at this point, like, I'll be honest with you, one time I might gag a little bit, but I'm at a point now where I've seen him. I've seen enough of a pattern in him to realize that's not what he likes. It might gag me though. I'm not gonna lie. I might start looking like, I'll be honest with you, but at the same time, I've seen a consistency in him to where I could eventually get over it.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, child, we are getting to some things, but listen, anybody else? I mean, it's hella people. Okay, let me get these last two, and then we're gonna wrap up because I got a date on Clubhouse. I got a whole thing I gotta do over there. Okay, Nunu and Candace.
Bye. Hello, another Candace.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Talk.
Hello. I can speak from so many different perspectives. So when I was growing up, I did mess with women. Now I had a situation where, and as well, my brother, he's gay. So I've always been able to see it from the inside looking out, I guess. I feel like women, I'm so glad we could talk about this too, because I feel like for a long time, women couldn't acknowledge the fact that, yes, baby, men, they have their endeavors. So to even be able to acknowledge it is a great thing. So back to my perspective. Growing up with my brother being gay, seeing so many things, I got to see it early. So my boyfriend and his boyfriend had a little scandal. They had a little entanglement of sorts. And, that opened the door to so many things in my mind. And the first thought, to be perfectly honest, that's why I love what Miles is saying that we won't really get to, but it's hard. I hate to even say, but I felt sorry for him as a Black man because in that moment I knew this is something that you probably always wanted to do. You always wanted to engage in. You were the it boy, and on the same behalf, my boyfriend's boyfriend, he was that girl. You know what I'm saying? So you knew your attraction from the first time y'all met. That's why when me and my brother talked, we can look back and think hindsight 2020, like, oh, it was
definitely like an attraction there. But I think we just have to be open to it and realize, even if that man is on the down low or whatever, I know it's so far-fetched to say relate to him, but we have to, because I felt so bad, like, dag, even at this moment, now that our circle knows, you could never live in that truth. Like, being who you are, he could never live in that truth, ever.
Bear,
yeah.
Nunu, go ahead, Nunu. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to say about like, all right, the time spent things. I think like a lot of men, like we were saying, like if it happened in like say 10 years ago, or if it was experienced so long ago, or if you don't do it a lot, if you do it once a year or whatever like that. Like I know certain guys that they in their mind is like only gay if you like continuously have sex with a man, but if you do it like once in a blue moon or whatever like that, then that doesn't mean that you're gay. And even with the interview with Andre, like that's what
Or if you only get your dick sucked, you're not gay.
I don't think you are.
Right.
He was very dismissive. Like in the interview with Andre, he was very dismissive. Like even when he was talking about like he messed with EJ, he messed with things, but he was just like, oh, it was just a vibe. Oh, I just got head. Like he tried to downplay it a lot. Like it didn't really matter because it wasn't like I guess a love affair or whatever. And it don't. I mean, I think if you do it, you do it. Like if you have sex with a man, then you're something about you is attracted to men. Like if you
I
definitely feel
a little bit different though, because I feel like Andre, even though EJ is a man and things like that, I think that Andre is trans attracted and like
I think so.
He like lady boy.
Some people are attracted to feminine energy.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that too, but it's like I said, he'll like that type of man specifically, like how he is. That's like they're in their head, they'll like downplay certain stuff. Like just like he said, he didn't have to tell his baby mom because, or just even he said with the baby mom, he was like, oh, I only had sex with her like twice a month whenever I got extremely horny because I didn't want to be community peen, so I just messed with her 2 times or whatever whenever I got extremely horny and stuff like that. Like clearly he just wanted to downplay everything, like make it seem like it wasn't that serious or whatever, when like if you mess with the person, if you having sex with somebody, you gotta like them some type of way. Like you can't like so you can't just be like
shit, them or something they got.
How could you not like somebody
bingo
just having sex with
them or something they got? One of the two.
I think he's a special case because he's an opportunist. Because I have grew up with men who I know they are straight. I have been with their baby mothers, but they did stuff with my brother years ago. But I know they're not gay. But it is some men who that are like, that's an opportunist though. That's why I think that he's even the example.
He's gonna mess with anything that's gonna benefit.
I think
anywhere where the money is at, that's where he's gonna go. No matter if it's a man, a woman, a trans, he don't care what it is, as long as it's a come up, clout, it's something that he could benefit off of. That's what he is. And that's where it's wrong. Like that's because he's gonna deceive, he's gonna lie.
Yeah,
to
that's
whoever
not.
he needs to lie to, because just for his own personal gain. The only reason why he's even out is because Jeffree Star, he was down with it because Jeffree Star is a millionaire. Like, of course he was going to whatever. And that's the only thing I think he even claimed through the whole interview. He ain't claim the baby mom. He ain't claim EJ. He ain't claim nobody but Jeffree, because Jeffree got millions of dollars. Like
he's still on payroll.
He has no problem.
Well, I feel like if we're taking it back to maturation, you know, I feel like if we're putting stipulations on, you know, if a man's experimenting whatever, I feel like once you hit about 18, dude, anything that you do after that, that is a part of your track record, just like anything else that you would do, stealing or whatever.
And I think that,
you know,
that should be
because that's the experimental phase.
That's nothing that you should not tell You should tell people no matter what. You can't just use the excuse of, oh, I didn't
No.
really like them like that, or oh, I wasn't, the relationship wasn't that serious. If you're having sex with somebody, that's serious enough. Clearly, he was saying he didn't like his baby mom, but clearly you're fucking that girl raw for y'all to have babies, or for her to be your baby mom, you had to be fucking her raw. So how is you like not y'all
Well, hold
relationship
on,
is
because
not
he
that
also
serious,
had.
so you
Well, we're
don't
talking
fight
about
with her,
him.
whatever.
He also had sex with trans, but when Jason Lee said, "Are you gay?" or something like that, and they mentioned trans, he was very much saying her. So a lot of these straight guys also don't see transgender as being part of the LGBT.
That's why that's a whole separate thing.
So they don't even see
But
that. They
see,
still feel as though I'm
First of
sleeping
all,
with
let's
women,
talk
so I'm
I
not
feel
gay.
like a
that's what
lot
they
of them
try to
just
convince
choose to use
themselves.
that.
about
Right,
talk about
exactly. They
how
use
first of all
that. They use that as an excuse a
he's
lot of
not
times.
even, I wouldn't even consider him as a DL man anyway.
No,
Clearly
he's a
that is a
queen.
gay man.
Absolutely.
Like
He's very much a lady.
he's been
Yeah, she is
messing.
a lady. She is a lady.
Yeah,
And
he's been
first of all,
he's been
she
messing
was on there
with
talking
all
about
type
dick
of,
too much. She was over there talking about how small a nigga dick was.
He
And
was excited. Yeah.
girl, she is a lady.
hand mannerisms. He like, okay,
Yeah,
I
she
get
was
you,
talking about his dick
no,
was
I
hella
get that.
little, and
I'm glad he found his path. He's come out.
I was like,
That's
oh
cool.
yeah, bitch, he's the queen, child.
that was a queen. That's the
Professional con
Atlanta
artist
girl.
queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, the only reason why he claimed like Bobby, EJ, Jeffrey, these is all names, but trust and believe he done mess with plenty more people that we don't even know.
There's
No
other
more smoke
Absolutely.
on the street that we don't even know.
Mhm.
And he's been doing it for a long time. He like 34. Like you've been around the block and around and around and around and again. So,
I need to get him over here. I need to get it.
like
I want to get to get him on a podcast.
See, that's that convenient gay. It's cool to be gay when it's convenient. When it's cool, you know, when there's a name attached to it, it's convenient.
Right.
Stand in your truth. Just stand in your truth. That's all. You won't have a problem with people approaching you with shit you did in your past if you acknowledge your past. Acknowledge it.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Hey,
yeah, that's basically where I came from. I just didn't like him personally because it just screamed a whole bunch of stuff like that interview. I was like, oh my first, and he on some type of drugs. Number one, I was like, do he do crystal meth or something? Like the way he was answering the questions are all over the place and not making sense and just sounding stupid. And I felt like it was a bad look because people already have a stigma when it comes down to like down low black men or just gay people and stuff like that. And that's something that you don't want, like representing gay people as a whole, because it was disgusting. Just how he was talking and what he was saying, it was just like it didn't make sense. You talking about the baby mom like that when that's your baby's mother, like you had to lay down with her unprotected.
You were up there reading like a queen, like you were reading her, like you were like reading her.
He was.
Yeah, I was like, it must have been something that she did. Like he had a vendetta against her. Like it was like, yeah, he was showing her. Even we said about what's the orphan movie when Jason complimented and said how pretty was, he was like, yeah, without the makeup, you need to see the bitch, basically. Like, and I'm like, damn, like why is he was showing her
pretty.
or whatever.
And she's
and like
sick.
I said, that's not
really, really pretty. Yeah.
coming out of him. It was like. And I've dealt with people like that before. Like they'll put on this persona of like this man or whatever like that, and then you'll end up come to find out like you is sis, like, and they'll bitch backstab you, bitch, like a queen, like queens.
Because
do,
he's
like,
the type in the
whatever.
beginning.
Just
Yeah.
even seeing what he did with
Okay, listen, we got 5 more minutes. We can get into that. That's a whole nother
5 minutes.
Because that's a whole.
That's 1 minute for each box.
as soon as
another topic.
He was already ready to expose Jeffree Star, talking about some, oh, don't let me tell about the pill bottles I found in your room. Like that was a queen move right there. Like queen, like that's what I said. He's crazy. Like how he was ready to talk about
up there in a row,
HIV and stuff like that.
And was talking about how big her dick was the whole time. Like,
I mean, I think that even if you do it for convenience or for a come up, you know, that still puts you in that category of being bisexual and or gay. Because there are some men that no matter what you throw in their face or who it is, they're not gonna bend down and suck dick. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like there
He
are some
was
things
more
that
arguing
are.
about being straight.
You said what?
He had an argument almost about being straight because he went to, just belittling down his baby mother so much. Like, you are really upset, He wanted to let the world know, I didn't even fool with this girl for real.
Yeah, he did. He made very clear. Oh, we're down to 3.
I just think. Bottom line, I feel like if you did something over the age of 18, go ahead and fess up because you never know who you're going to run across. And then when you run across that person, what are you going to do? It's just all about being honest and truthful. If you're bold enough to do it, then you should be bold enough to confess that you did it. Right. That's how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying? Just stand in your truth. Be real about it.
And we must remember it's not just a black woman thing, but it's a black man thing too, because there's not white men going around being down low. A lot of them are openly bisexual. The women know about it. They're alternative guys, but it's a black community thing. And we kind of got to work with each other and meet in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like for black people in general, there's such a strong stigma, especially with the black man, to be a certain way, to carry themselves a certain way. So it holds a lot more weight to have a man be bold enough to be honest about those things. But it should go both ways. This isn't just the issue about, it's not just the issue, specifically geared towards the woman that's dealing with the DL man. It goes the same way. I feel like we should treat it equally, because if we don't,
it's going to take time. It's going to take generational time. But, that's why these conversations are important. It's not just going to happen overnight. So I'm not expecting people to change overnight, but give it 10 years, give it 20 years. We evolve faster than we think.
And conversations like this, where we have people talking about this kind of stuff, it does make people more comfortable. There could be somebody at home right now thinking to themselves, oh shit, maybe I should tell my girlfriend, or maybe I should be, we never know. Right. But at the same time, you're right. It is going to take time, and we'll get there as long as we continue to be open about it.
Most definitely.
Well, gentlemen, ladies in the audience, and everybody, listen, this was a fantastic show. We did this shit for damn near 3 hours. Sean, thank you for coming on at the tail end. I know it was last minute, but thank you. You brought a great perspective to the show. So thank you, Sean, for coming on. And
thank you.
We'll talk soon. Okay, bye. Okay, Miles, you troopered out the whole time. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Armon. I was honored to get into some things with you. Yes.
We did it. And I see you earlier in the chat today. I was like, yeah, I'm going to bring you on. We're going to talk about it. And so, you'll be hearing from me too. So we'll talk soon.
Awesome. I'll see you soon.
Bye. Okay, listen. And the shade is the work is not done. I still got to go do a whole nother thing. But I love you guys. We got into some things. Make sure you guys like the video. Keep the conversation going in the comments. And we're going to have more conversations like this. Trust me. And yeah, thank you guys all for watching. And until next time, I'm about to get up out of here and get into some things on Clubhouse. So if you're on there, follow me. And I'll see y'all soon. Shout out to Candace. Shout out to Daytime. Shout out to all the people that came in and chit-chatted with us. I love y'all all. Thank you. And peace out. Bye.